What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to move into our fourth day of action, the second to last day, and it's been an absolutely exciting run that these teams have been on here today. Of course, this is none other than the International African Gaming Cup, brought to you in partnership with the Republic of Benin and Nice Cactus, who are joining forces to offer multi-territory gaming tournaments to esport players all over the African continent. Now, as we know, the teams have been duking it out over the past 3 days, looking to really push as many points as they can possibly manage in towards those overall rankings. And of course, as we know, in true fashion, right, we are going to be making our way through. But let's have a quick look at the teams once again, in case we have new viewers rather joining us here today. It is going to be none other than our teams coming through from Slime 4KT, the Snipers, Art of Kidding, Virtual Gaming, Darkness, One More, as well as 1 Million, One Round. We got the players there from SKYROCKETS, G3 Temper, Blackjack, RILA inside of the BBC, as well as Greedy for Kills. Then, of course, also we got Team Lag as well as Team UMBRA. Now, as we know, right, the teams are going to be playing for their share of the prize pool, looking to see who will be the teams to step up and walk away with the prize money. Of course, that first place picking up $3,500, and it all then trickles down to 11th to 16th place, where the teams will be walking away with $150 each. Of course, as we know, our map rotation being the same across all our days, as we can see right there, and then of course for today, we are going to be moving into the usual breakdown, right? It is going to be Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, followed up by even more Erangel right there at the very end of the day. But of course, now Vector, right? We need to take a look and see, just to remind the viewers also of what our point situation was, right? So far, we've been seeing an absolutely insane performance coming through from 1 million, right? The former CRYPTICS team coming in with an absolutely dominating performance. As we can see, they're sitting on 162 points after 3 days of play.
Yeah, indeed, just securing their first spot throughout from the beginning. Nobody has yet taken over that first spot. It is 1 million all the way so far at number one.
Yeah, an absolutely insane position to be holding. I mean, the eliminations sitting on 64 and those placements sitting on a grand total of 98. I mean, that's exactly the same as what One More Esports have been able to find over the past 3 days of gameplay. So that is just insane to look at. Of course, we can see then the players there from Virtual Gaming sitting in that second position, followed closely by the SkyRockets, as well as One Round. And then also we see the players there from Greedy for Kills, just 13 points behind One Round. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure now coming through on these teams once again, moving into the fourth day. But as we were talking about it yesterday, right, we're expecting the teams to really dial up the aggression and the performances even more so, because that's kind of the trend that we've been seeing developing over these past 3 days.
Wow, indeed, and that's exactly what happened yesterday, DK. We've seen so many teams climbing up that ladder. So, I mean, talking about virtual gaming, they were eighth, and they, like you said, they're in second place already, jumping 6 spots up, just that much closer to first place. A lot of the teams also, at least 3 other teams, managing just to keep this spot. We're looking at Darkness staying in 16th position. Of course, 1 million also staying in first position, as well as G4K managing to keep their fifth spot. So good job done to them, as well as Lag Esports staying in sixth. But I think worthwhile mentioning also, we can definitely say Slime 4KT putting in 1 or 2 good games in there, getting them up to 10th. Another team that I would probably be keeping my eyes on as well would have to be, it stands out a lot, is going to be Art of Killing, as well as, I would say, let's see, who can I pick here? Blackjack Esports, well done to them also.
Yeah. And I mean, today's going to be the day for teams to step up and just surprise us with a few of those dominating performances. You know, as we took a look at that first page, there's not a lot separating the teams sitting on the higher end of the second page from the teams that are sitting at the lower end of that first page. So I'm expecting a lot of kind of movement to come through from these teams as they now start making their way on in, looking to see if they could potentially get themselves a little bit better situated, looking for a few available angles to be playing from, and potentially just looking to drive home a lot of those points, because we know that is what the teams are essentially going to be chasing, right? They are going to be chasing the potential push to advance their position up that leaderboard. And one team we've already seen doing a lot of that is none other than SKYROCKETS, right? They've just been absolutely skyrocketing themselves up the overall standings and taking up quite a considerable kind of position already on that overall leaderboard. So, there's some really high expectations coming through here, as we was able to see the players there from SKYROKETS bringing in play after play. So who knows where this will essentially then take the teams.
Yeah, indeed, Skyrockets. They started off, or they of the day in second position. However, they fell down one position down to third. It was actually virtual gaming that overtook them. But the point difference is not that far out. Virtual gaming on 119, Skyrockets on 117. So that's going to be the fight that we are going to be watching between the two of them, just battling it out for second and third position. However, it's not too far out to actually get into that top position where we find the players from 1 million at 162. We do know in one or two games you can actually reach for the stars there, like Skyrockets has been doing.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely try and reach for the stars. And speaking about stars, we can see our flight path and zone. Well, we can't see the flight path, but we can see the zone and where the players are looking to push out in towards, of course, that zone, taking its position over on towards that southwestern side. So not quite sure what is going on with with the feed here today, as everyone seems to be somewhat stationary. We do have some slight movement coming through here from the teams as they are moving every now and again. But we're going to try and see if we could potentially maybe find a little bit of that action to come on through. Not quite sure what the kind of delay is on this situation, but it is, of course, going to be, just a little bit of a bumpy ride, as we've seen the players also now potentially getting into a little bit of that bumpy ride here as well. But a lot of kind of separation coming through with regards to those drop locations, right? The teams moving into the usual spots, nothing really looking out of the ordinary, at least with regards to where the teams have decided to go from what we can see. So I'm curious to see how this kind of zone shift down towards that southwestern side is actually going to look to impact these teams as they start making their rotations a little bit later on.
Is going to be one huge impact, I can tell you, DK. Looking at the majority of it, of the teams all the way on the east side of the zone, not in the zone. So a couple of battles about to go through over there. Just maybe even trying to get into the next zone might just be one difficult task. I believe the players over there at Georgia Pearl, they'll be happy with themselves. I see we got one more, the players from Sky as well. So just two teams that so not much worry for them coming through. However, well done on the forecasting coming through from a lot of the players that actually jumped central. We've got UMBRA over there in the middle. We've got Lag as well as I and Israel Insider. I think positions most centrally, and they will enjoy their positioning. Even when the next zone comes in, they will surely be, or they will have the upper hand, I would say. Nobo, Sosnovka military base island also, brilliant place to be at. And we only have G4K over there, so they will be able to enjoy that if the next zone does shift all the way down to them.
Yeah, they definitely would be able to benefit from that. And of course, we are going to be jumping straight across towards the players here coming through now from the side there of one round, looking to see what they're going to be bringing through. We do have Eflex currently running somewhere. We don't really know where they are going, but we'll find out as soon as these kind of gremlins decide to leave us for now, as we kind of just sit in the situation waiting to see at what point these teams could be looking to get themselves a little bit closer situated towards each other. But at least for now, it does seem like everyone's kind of respecting the space.
Yeah, space is important, and they can actually capitalize on that on a map like Erangel. Lots of place to work with. I mean, also with the zone just coming to the aid for everyone, whoever's looking to play the long game. As we can see, majority of the players there, when we looked at the map, free for all actually on the one side. However, like we said, later on in a couple of minutes, when the zone pushes in, it's going to be a difficult one to see who decides to move first. They would probably have the upper hand to get themselves into that zone first, because there's not going to be that much to work with. As you can see, just a military base over there. And then on the other hand, we do have Katekwari, Ferry Pier, Primorsk up for grabs. So it's going to be a tough one already at the early stages as soon as this zone pulls in.
Yeah, Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride indeed, but for the time being, we're just going to be waiting to see. Already, we can see the players there from UMBRA starting to push in a little bit closer towards that kind of Pachinki region, and we do see the players then from the side of RILA Insider actually taking the plunge and moving themselves into position on towards that western bridge. So I definitely think it is going to be a good starting point, especially for the players from RILA Insider, because they've taken that initiative, they've got themselves situated already on towards that center zone, and all they can do now is look to bring in a few of those fortifications along the way. Of course, there's still going to be a little bit of tension coming through here as the teams will start making their way moving further afield, but for now, we're going to try and move straight up to see what the players here from UMBRA are going to be bringing through. It is going to be Morteza looking to make a little bit of a push, heading over, trying to see if they can explore the region, of course, heading close towards that kind of Gatka region, but not fully committing to those positions just yet, right? They are still just, trying to keep it a little bit more focused on towards that more, north or western kind of position as well.
Yeah. And talking about focus, Umbra being one of the teams that we have here that actually managed to drop a little bit on the leaderboard from 7th down to 9th. So we expected a little bit more of a push from them as well. The consistency, I mean that was the name of the game yesterday. So the guys that actually brought it yesterday, I'll be definitely keeping an eye on all of them. It's going to be Slime 4KT. They managed to climb up 2 places. I mean, we've seen Art of Killing as well, jumping from 14th to 11th position as well. Great job to them. As well as another one worthwhile mentioning, G3. They've been kind of, you could say, invisible throughout this couple of games, but they kind of got in it a little bit yesterday, so we want to see a little bit more of them. They were in 15th position. They managed to climb one up to 14th, and then I mean the majority of the teams dropping, except the other guys that they managed to just keep themselves in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of contention coming through as the teams are definitely looking to see if they can bring any of those additional improvements through as well. But again, now it is going to be the players here from UMBRA looking to push themselves a little bit further, looking for any potential angles they could be finding to play along the way. As you can see, Morteza still just slowly rolling up. The rest of the team, of course, are going to be positioned in a slight bit of a different position, right? It is going to be Morteza exploring the region, but the rest of the crew are going to be relatively stationary for the time being. So I'm liking this kind of approach coming through here, as we do see, of course, the players from Blackjack also on the move. We do have Phoenix and Zane looking to push in from the edge of that zone potentially as they find themselves right there on the very edge. But of course, we do have a little bit of a change coming through as that zone now is going to start closing on up. You can see several teams not yet really venturing in towards the zone, seeming to be a little bit more reluctant with regards to those aggressive rotations. But they are, in the meanwhile, going to be looking to at least make that entry point moving into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, if this is any indication about how the games are going to go, I would say it's looking more defensive, just trying to get themselves in that top positions, making sure that they don't get any encounters, trying to get into the next zone. I mean, and as we speak, the zone is about to land, and it could go either way, looking at the northern region, the eastern region looking a little bit crazy over there, as we do have our virtual gaming, one of our top teams in the mix there as well. So big black crocodiles as well didn't have a good game yesterday, so I do believe they're going to come with a bang today. Would expect a little bit more of a push type of game coming from them. And I mean, look at that zone split between the ocean over there, military base, and Pachinki on the very edge of the other side. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, it's going to be a hard one to guess. Am I going to go over to military, or do we stay on the main island? Oh.
Yeah, we don't know, right? We don't know what is going to be happening, but we'll have to wait and see if we can kind of figure it out to see where these teams are going to be moving on towards. But now, right, we can see there's a little bit of that focus being put in as the teams continue to just move on towards that coastal line. But no certainty just yet, right? That southern island is still going to be pretty much unoccupied, aside from the players there of, Greedy for Kills, who we see, of course, you know, still just moving out. They've already started with a lot more of a southern kind of drop coming into the zone. So now only time will tell where exactly the teams are going to be looking to push up towards. And of course, we also then see the players here from One More taking a few hits as they now come rushing forward on towards that eastern side. It is going to be Darkness Sarah to find the first hit up on towards Jamaica. But let's see what Pixie, Overkill, and Skull will be able to do from their current position.
Yeah, here we go. We got our first battle taking place, and guess what? It's going to be Darkness again. Darkness came in quite a lot of battles yesterday, and they're coming out on top as well, putting in some brilliant performances, if I might add to that. Just waking up a little bit late in the game, so I'm hoping that they can bring that through over here. It's not going to be an easy one going against One More. One More also, they do have a point to prove. They lost their 4th position and they dropped all the way down to 7th coming into today's games. So let's see what they do bring. And a couple of knocks coming in there. And it's actually Darkness having the upper hand, as we do see one of them getting the knock. Virtual Gaming also gets down. Skull from One More takes a molly, as well as Gaddafi getting knocked. There we go. There we go. Marco comes in with his bold action. That's what I love to see. And it looks like a lot of the players here, like Pixie also, we saw the ridge line opting for the ridge line here by the waters. Maybe if they need to swim over, would be the safer option, I'm assuming, because it's going to be, I think, more of a bridge situation where most players or teams would think, let's rather go for the bridge, you know, and camp it out there. But it's going to be a difficult one because a lot of people or a lot of players are going to be thinking the exact same thing. I do love, however, what the guys from One Round are doing over here, just chilling outside the bridge and looking to capitalize on anyone that tries to come anywhere close by.
Yep, that's going to be a potential play to be making as we see now 1 million looking to move up a little bit further. This is a little bit odd. We got Makari, but it says 1 round up at the top. Yeah, it does seem like the lobby is struggling a little bit here today as, you know, not quite sure what's cooking, but it is what it is for now. We'll try and fix it as we move on through. We can see the players here from the side of Snipers also just super active, right? They're running back and forth consistently. So, I mean, we are seeing some great consistency being brought in here by the teams as they now continue to try and make their current positionings work in their favor. Of course, that zone taking yet another swing over onto the edge, moving towards the eastern side, and this is looking quite favorable now, especially for the players there from 1 million. But now One More right up alongside Darkness as the shots continue to fly on in. It is going to be the players then also from the side there of Blackjack. You can see Zane really starting to step up in that feed. Snipers still trying to play this angle. We got UMBRA just off in the distance, so this is going to be a little bit of a test to see whether or not they can actually now secure a decent rotation, because we still see them quite a distance away from that zone.
Yeah, look at that. The entire west coast of all the teams over there, they do need to get themselves back on the east side of the map. As you can see, it's exactly where the next zone is going to be. Marco and his teammate over here are in trouble. Here comes the medic, and he's trying to get them up. It's going to be a difficult one because the players from UMBRA are on their toes, and it looks like they might push. This is the opportunity that they have to get a couple of elims to their name. They do already have one down, but it looks like Zaid is doing his job really well here. No smokes, and that gets them sent back to the lobby. Look at that elim coming through from Pogu. Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done.
Yeah,
Wow.
Poker's coming in with a beautiful rush there, finding an absolutely great blaze to kind of just capitalize on top of. And of course, now, if we quickly look on towards the players here from 1 million, we can see them now trying to also make their way alongside that main bridge over towards the eastern side. We're going to be seeing a lot of pressure and a lot of heat now, particularly coming in towards that bridge position. But of course, speaking about the heat, the pressure, we do have the players from BBC also finding themselves in a little bit of a challenging play. As we can see up in that feed, they are going toe-to-toe with the players through from the side there of Slime 4KT. So not quite sure how this is going to go in favor of either the players there from Slime or BBC. But we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled to see what could be coming through from that. As we try and jump over towards Nihal, we can see Nihal now just trying to play on this ridge line. Is somewhat separated from where the rest of the team had been taken down. So this could maybe actually being working out now, as we also then have the players there from G3 just over on towards that coastal region. So out goes the smoke nades, looking to bring in a little bit of that kind of coverage for Neil now, potentially, to try and just sneak themselves into a more improved or advantageous position here. Blue Zone is also now going to be catching up as we're about to leave our third phase and make a jump into the fourth. Neil now having a few unwelcome visitors. Also moving forward, as you can see, Pronto and the team now getting ready to mount their assault, looking to see if they can pick up a few of those trades. Of course, we can see the players also then in the feed. There is going to be SKYROKKETS also feeling a little bit of that tingle coming in, as they are coming under quite a big amount of pressure. The shots continue to laser on through. It is also then onto the players here from Blackjack, who are positioned towards that western side, looking to see if they can get the angles locked in. Darkness just up ahead, trying to swim out of the water. Oh, Sarah taking a few hits, but unfortunately, Zane not really managing to connect enough of those hits.
Yeah, that was the opportunity Zane had. Should have capitalized on that one. Darkness now, they are lucky. They managed to get away. They get to continue swimming their way back into the next zone. And it looks like it's a little bit of a mid-battle or mid-table battle between the guys from Big Black Crocodiles and Slime 4KT. I'm not sure if they are still surviving, but that will be a decider for the two, who is going to go a little bit further up or who will stay back down on the logs. So that is going to be an exciting battle between the two. And then just looking at from one round as well, you're also doing really well on the leaderboard, finding themselves in fourth place. They do have two players down though, so Knight over here, he does need to get themselves back in the zone. The blue is going to it at this point, but there are a couple of gatekeepers up ahead, as you can see. One round, just talking about them, gets knocked now, Mr. Knight, as he stands in front of the bridge and gets sent back to the lobby. And Venom now just trying to hold it down as he tries to stay in cover, or rather get into his vehicle and make a move. It is 4KT that is making life really difficult for them, as the blue zone actually pushes much more inwards than outwards into the ocean. Venom is in a lot of trouble here as he drives straight past an enemy, doesn't get taken out from the back. He makes it perfectly into cover. He is quite low though. He might get taken out by G4K, or will it be the blue zone? Only time for Thailand, it's the blue zone that sends him back to the lobby, and that is it for one round. Very disappointing game number one for them, that is, DK.
Yeah. I mean, but it's tough. This is what we are getting to trying to get a bit of a look at here. As we can see now up on the map, quite a few teams converging up on towards that more western position. And if you guys just joined us, there is a bit of a problem with the lobby, with the lag, right? We are working on it to try and get it all fixed so we can get right back into the action. So we'll try and just, kind of mission through everything. As we can see, it does work with us every now and again, but then, then it doesn't, right? So, yeah, that is the beauty of, a little bit of that RNG coming through on the networks as well. But of course, now it is going to be the players here from Slime looking to rotate up on towards that edge, looking to see if they could maybe pull up on towards the coastal line. But up ahead, it is going to be a very bumpy road, as we've got quite a few teams positioned up ahead of them. Storm, as we know, no stranger to aggression, has been able to show quite a bit of that in previous matches. But now, is it going to work out this time for the players here from Slime? Because we know, right, they are not situated in the most favorable position. They are still going to be looking to make their play to get themselves situated back on towards that first page.
Yeah. I'm having a great or really good feeling about Storm 4KT. Like I've been saying previously in all the other matches, we know what they are capable of, and just seeing their gameplay coming through brilliantly, I assume and I feel like they can get themselves in that top positions. Darkness also getting one of their players get sent back to the lobby. I believe that was the last player. A little bit of we stuck, but it's okay. It's all good. Also, I saw coming into the kill feed, it was G3 getting knocked a couple of times. So I'm not sure if they are still surviving, if they're still in the game. It's going to be a tough one to see. Lag being the players that's taking everybody on from that angle, taking on the boys from, I think it is the 1 million or one more, one of the two. But Lag also in a difficult position over there, as we see Marshall eats a nade from Sass, as we see Savage as well, just hiding himself in his vehicle in the zone as well, beautifully placed. Not much to worry about at this moment, but it is lag that is dominating the kill feed right now at the moment.
Yep, we can see, of course, it is also then A9Q and SAS who are down at least at this current point in time. But a rush coming through there from 1 million, looking to see if they can get any plays rolled on through. As Saf1 now tries to step up, does pick up that trade on towards Lazy Boy. And with that, it is going to be the end of the road for Saf1 as they now get traded on down. A very unfortunate performance coming in there as the players there from 1 million just mounted such an aggressive assault down on towards them. Meanwhile, the rest of the teams are going to be looking to see if they can pull up into a little bit more of a favorable position. Savage still going to be holding on to that very eastern side, but now we do see RILA inside it, just down below. We got the players there from Slime also positioned a little bit further away towards the northern edge of the zone. So very contentious angle to try and play from. I mean, even if we look on towards what we've got going on here with Coco, Coco is also just going to be keeping a very watchful eye. Up comes Omar now looking to rotate on forward. Will this be the play now for Savage to try and make the shots getting sent across? The damage starting to rain on in. Up comes a quick dash there from Rauf. Does run straight over Savage. So an absolutely crazy play coming in as they get a beautiful rush. Coco still going to be peeking out that window, looking to see if they can maybe find or make any of those connections. Meanwhile, the players there from Slime still going to be looking to also now just strengthen their positioning up in towards the zone. Coco taking aim down on towards Rauf. Omar right there alongside them. But it is going to be a very treacherous position indeed for the players here, as we do have teams coming in from all directions, right? Looking at Rauf, you can see Rauf now just trying to scan the vicinity, looking to see who's moving in. We got Storm right there alongside them, as well as the rest of the team, or the rest of the remaining players coming through from Slime 4KT.
Yeah, all the remaining teams all very happy with themselves, just ensuring that they can at least climb the leaderboard a little bit. Especially, I mean, I'm looking at 1 million. They are still managing to keep themselves in the game. So it's going to be difficult for the guys that just got taken out. We saw virtual gaming falling down, so the gap is going to be it's going to be stretched a little bit, as we do also see 4KT just bringing the A game tonight. This is what I love. G4K, Rauf is in trouble, and eventually he gets found, and that's it. Back to the lobby, sir. It is INA's Coco that comes in with that knock. RILA Insider, as well as so it's RILA Insider, and it would be Slime 4KT. Looks like they are dominating their angle here in game number 1. They might just be the last two teams that will be going up against each other, representing the south side of Africa, or the regions in Africa. It's going to be a tough one.
Yep, it is definitely going to be a super challenging play to come in indeed. But now, as we can see, it is going to be the players from RILA Insider looking to push up from that southern position. Slime 4KT now just up ahead of them there as well. But it is going to be a little bit of a testing play to make. We can see Trip now getting traded. Coco looking to push in. It's quite some distance still away. Not quite sure whether or not Coco is actually going to be able to push up and bring in the necessary needed assistance. But now they are facing quite a bit of a challenge as we have Storm stepping up, looking to trade it off. Now Storm taking aim over onto its players there from one more. But let's see whether or not this could be the advantageous performance now coming through here for Slime 4KT. They are still sitting on 3 players. Oh, no, rather, yes, 3 players up in this lobby. Down to our final 2 teams we go. Slime 4KT now sitting on 11 eliminations to their name, and they're going up against the final hopeful coming through there. Now from 1 million is going to be none other than Gary Boy, looking to see if they can make any runs happening from this point in time. We got that rush coming through from Plaza as well, right up on towards them. As you can see, Gary Boy now just trying to cover up their position. A few nades now getting exchanged here. Up comes the rush. Will they find the trade though? Yes, indeed. Off they go. And it is going to be the players there from Slime 4KT picking up an absolutely victorious run, coming in with a very favorable 12 eliminations to their name. The players there from 1 million, of course, coming in with 8 eliminations in that second position. One more taking, 1 elimination in third place. RILA Insider finishing up in fourth with 3. And of course, we got Blackjack over in towards that 5th position, also then walking in with that 1 elimination. But as we can see, right, it was a very tough play. Lag at least managing to find quite a substantial amount of eliminations, even though they got sent back all the way in towards that 8th position, walking away with 6 eliminations. Sub 1 picking up 4 of those. As we look a little bit further down, we can see the players there from Darkness also managing to find a few eliminations. One round picking up 4 eliminations all the way in 13th. But then, of course, we got UMBRA picking up 5 eliminations all the way in 14th position. So an absolutely insane play, insane finish coming through there from UMBRA. And our stars of the match will be none other than Storm from Slime 4KT as well as Zeus to land the finishing blows. And of course, then it is going to be Pocus coming through there from the side of UMBRA. Now, I mean, just before we head back onto camera, we can see the distance being traveled there by Zeus being absolutely insane, sitting just over 10 kilometers. I mean, that is quite the range, quite a bit of movement they've brought in this past match. So, I mean, we can see a lot of that also then translating in the kind of performances we had coming through from Slime 4KT. So, Vector, I mean, a very satisfying play indeed. I mean, Slime picking up a very well-deserved winner chicken dinner. But now we need to see how all of this then kind of translates as these teams will continue to make their way forward, looking to just up their performances even more so. I think your audio has cut out. Let me... No stress, no stress. We got it fixed. Off you go.
Are we back? Okay. Cool. 100%. Okay, so yeah, no better start than that coming through there by RILA Insider, Slime 4KT getting the winner chicken dinner as well. I mean, a big upset for virtual gaming. Just trying to keep second place, as well as the guys in third place. We're looking at SKYROCKETS, not a good performance by them. So they are the teams that's probably going to have to look to do a lot better because they are gunning for them, as you just saw coming in. Brilliant gameplay by the guys getting the chicken dinner second place, as well as the third place. That is what we want to see from these teams here tonight.
Well, there we go. All right, so that of course means we have reached the end of our matches here for the very first one of the day. Of course, next up we are going to be moving into a little bit of that Miramar action. Hopefully, the lag will kind of sort itself out and we don't have to sit here struggling trying to push through all of this, you know, looking for a little bit better in-game views on the live feed, the action feed there. But, well, hopefully all of that will be fixed when we return with our second match over on towards Miramar. So be sure to stay tuned and we'll also be back with our overall standings to see where the teams find themselves. So stay safe. We'll see you guys back in a short few minutes. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to move into our next match here for today. Of course, heading straight over in towards Miramar to see what the teams are going to be bringing out as they step into the desert. Of course, already we saw such a beautiful performance coming through in our very first match of the day. And that, of course, then leads us straight into our overall rankings to see where these teams currently find themselves with regards to those point situations. It, of course, going to be the players there from 1 million still holding on to pole position. Now pushing that lead even further up now onto 182 points in total. Skyrockets holding on to 122 with the players there from Virtual Gaming and One Round. Both teams now sitting on 119 with Slime 4KT making
Wow.
up some of those much needed points. And of course, now just grabbing a hold of those 118 total points. So, an absolutely beautiful play coming through here from Slime. I mean, they started off the day sitting on 91 points in total, all the way down in 10th position. And now, as we know, right, that second winner with a chicken dinner doing absolutely favorable things for the progression of Slime up the leaderboard.
Yeah, indeed. Just doubling their position. All like you said, all the way from 10th to 5th. What a big step that was. And I mean, it's going to put a lot of, or a big damper on the rest of the teams because now they are that much closer. Not just 1 point behind one round to get them into 4th position, or maybe even 3rd, Virtual Gaming as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty tough play, whichever way you look at
Yeah.
that. So excited to see what the teams are going to be bringing on through. Of course, we got to take a quick look at that second page as well to see where the teams then currently find themselves positioned. We do see the players there from Team UMBRA actually now getting moved down a little bit on towards that second page as well. And this is just showing you how contentious these lobbies are, right? So, I mean, one good match from any of these teams could definitely change things up quite
Yeah.
drastically. So it's going to be pretty tough play moving into the remaining games here, as we know, right? UMBRA, well, in fact, UMBRA was already sitting in 9th place. They now got moved, well, to the exact same place, seeing that they only found 5 points in that last match.
Yeah.
But BBC also then are going to be featuring up on towards that second page. They were sitting over in towards 8th place on 94. So the 1 point from this past match really not doing any favors for them.
Yeah.
Instead, opening up some great doors for other teams instead to focus their efforts on improving and, you know, making those progressions
Yeah.
on towards the first page. And of course, now speaking about the first page, it is going to be time for us to take a quick little jump right over into our lobby as the teams are now in fact making their way on through. As we can see, looking at Miramar, it's smooth, right? So it seems like the Gremlins have kind of sorted them out. So it seems like we were able to
Beautiful.
get a lagless lobby. Well, aside from team lag that we've got in this lobby, you know, aside from that, it does seem like things are going to be much, much smoother this time around. So now it's just going to be a waiting game, right? To see where the teams are going to be dropping down, where they're going to be pushing towards, and of course also where our very first phase is going to be forming up as well.
It's going to be so interesting to see exactly, especially I'm just looking at the splits coming through with what happened at Irangle. Lots of places that the teams could go. Vicinities was all up for grabs this time. Looking at Miramar, the entire northern side of the plane flight, not much to work with over there, as we do see a couple of teams actually opting to go up. But south, the entire map up for grabs. Like you say, always you can get a vehicle, go as far as maybe Los Leones, Chumicara as well. Impala, one of the favorites for people that do love to go to the east side of the map. We already have feet on the ground as well. Looking at Al Azhar, we have G4K in the mix at Al Azhar. And I mean, it's still early. Floating over is the name of the game. Let's see how far we can float. A lot of teams look at that beautiful straight line coming down towards the end as the zone just gets decided there, and it's going to be on the east side of the map. So Los Leones, Impala, La Bendita. Yeah. So going to be a nice and easy first stage of the game for now. It seems like, as we do see a lot of splits coming through. Nothing to worry about at the moment, unless, I mean, you do find yourself with a team right up on top of you, which it does not seem like that is the case this time around here on Miramar.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like the teams are definitely spreading themselves out quite decently here.
Yeah.
We do, however, see, you know, Pocus here from the side of UMBRA, of course, dropping down a little bit close to that Picado position. And we know that the players from Blackjack frequent up in towards Picado. We did see them dropping down, or actually, Blackjack actually drops all the way down towards Los Leones. But
Yeah.
of course, they can't reach from the flight path. So they've now adapted their flight position. They drop location, moving in towards Picado. And this is now where things could take quite a bit of an interesting swing. Looking at the addition of so many other teams, also then bringing in those much needed adjustments. But of course, speaking about the adjustments, right, we can see the teams now continuing to just look to spread themselves out even more so. We got the players there from the snipers now pushing down that eastern coastline, heading over in towards Impala to get their looting sorted. And then it's down to rotations, right? But I'm curious to see this time around what the SKYROCKETS are going to be doing, right? They've been absolutely on
Yeah.
fire almost every single Miramar game.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, looking at the scoreboard with what they put on yesterday's performance, getting themselves all the way from 97 in total to 117 points, getting into that triple digits, and mostly because of, I mean, yesterday's Miramar game. So let's see if they can bring that same pressure or that same force, I would say, here on tonight's game. Also, we are watching UMBRA. UMBRA being one of the most, I would say, they've been keeping that 30 points going from the very beginning. They started off with the 36, doubling it up to 30 to 68, adding another 30 to 93. So staying in that 30s is keeping them in the top part of the leaderboard. However, as you can see, being in ninth place, it's not enough for Team UMBRA. We want to see a little bit more coming from them. So let's see if Focuses, once they do decide to get their looting done, they should do a little bit more pushing, get themselves into some battles where they can at least maybe win, and therefore getting themselves a little bit further up on that on the leaderboard.
It's going to be a tough run, right? Because we could see also when we were just taking a look there at Team UMBRA, right? They only came in with 3 players in the squad for this round. So it is going to be a little bit more of a challenging play, especially looking at UMBRA. But the rest of the teams, they do seem to be relatively sorted, at least, you know, still making their way. Everybody going to be going through their looting phases. We've got the players here from RILA Insider also now just still going about their business. We have not seen any teams really trying any outlandish kind of plays in this early stage.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting quite a bit of carnage to come from these teams as they start moving closer to each other. So potentially by late second phase, or maybe around about that third phase, is where we are going to be having a lot of the action really starting to come through, as the teams will then find themselves in much closer positions to each other. Of course, as we can see, RILA still going to be moving about, heading further up, trying to see if they can maybe find a decent position to move into. But as we were also watching the players there from Darkness making their way on through, right? Still several positions to try and play as the lobby is slowly starting to converge. But again, not a super aggressive push. So I'm especially here looking at the players there from the snipers, right? They've got a very favorable position, holding on towards Impala. We don't see anyone really heading in that direction, at least not for now. So they can actually afford to kind of just ride out this wave and see how far into those late stages they can actually look to kind of establish themselves.
Yeah. That's exactly what you would want to do. However, like you said, I mean, your patience will run thin at the end of the day. Miramar is a huge map, and once you're done looting, as you can see with the players from RILA Insider, everybody in their vehicles already trying to find themselves on a location where they can maybe take the battle on and get some elims in there. Because I mean, you don't want to be driving around looking all the time or looting for at least or not more than 2 rounds or two stages in this game. It gets to you eventually as a player, I believe. So I expect a lot of hunting that's going to come through here, because we see a couple of splits. It is Darkness eventually that finally finds a player over there to fire at. Let's see if they do decide to go and take them on. Decisions are to be made. A couple of shots coming in back at them, and it's going to be the SKYROCKETS. SKYROCKETS versus Darkness. What a battle this will be. Remember, SKYROCKETS being the team that are trying to hold or keep themselves in the top part of the log, doing really well. So it'd be interesting to see, considering their split, exactly how they decide to take this fight on.
Yeah, it is going to be quite an insightful play to potentially make its way through here from the players of SKYROCKETS. We can see Becca now just looking to put a little bit of distance in between themselves and those pushes coming in from behind. Of course, speaking about pushes, it is going to be the players here for Greedy for Kills now, looking to get themselves into a little bit of the action, as we do have RILA inside a trip coming up with that buggy. Zeke and the rest of the squad now having to make U-turns and instead look to get themselves back in some hard cover, as Matrix also takes a few hits on towards that vehicle. But Omar not going to be backing out of any potential opportunities to just add even more points. And I mean, it's no surprise, right? We know Miramar is a very favorable kind of map for them. So let's see where the players here for Greedy for Kills are going to be looking to push. And maybe they could come into contention for finishing with one of those winner-winner chicken dinners. Only time will, of course, tell where exactly these teams are going to be looking to advance towards. But some good angles and good awareness being brought in here by Omar. Meanwhile, the players from Darkness also just going to be just looking to kind of spread themselves out a little bit more. They are, of course, right here alongside the players from One More. So this could be a nice position actually being brought in here by Sarah.
Yeah, as Sarah is pushing in, it looked like they want to take this battle on. Still very early, and I'm surprised to see the amount of battles taking place, or that's about to take place over here, as we see Broly just firing in shots from a distance, letting them know we want to get in a battle, we want to get some elims to our name. It's not going to be that easy, because like you said, it's going to be one more holding that 7th position on the log, as they all find themselves in one more building there in front of each other. Skull looking to take out his bolt action now, so Broly needs to watch out. He will get shot at from a distance. I mean, that's the gun that you want to have on this map. Also, we do have UMBRA Black Lost over here taking on one of the boys from Blackjack Esports, and they are using the building as cover. Left, right, dodge. Here they come to the right. He needs to watch out. It's a two-man team. He gets what a clutch coming in through by Black Lost, and it looks like he might just get the double elim, as the backup takes a little bit too long to come here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very dangerous play coming in here from Black Lost, but up comes the reinforcements. Phoenix now going to be moving in. Black Lost now quickly just reloading that Oompy before starting another play. Gets yet another trade. It is going to be Lelo Machine to get taken down. Up comes the final player now for the side of Blackjack. Let's see whether or not Phoenix will be able to step up and bring in a little bit of that heat. Of course, Black Lost taking a little bit of damage, but this is going to be the opportunity for the rest of the UMBRA team now to just come in with their reinforcements as Poker steps on forward. But Black Lost picking up a 3-0 victory there. And of course, a great assist coming through there from Pocus just to close that one up and lock in that squad wipe. So absolutely phenomenal play coming through here from UMBRA. And I do think this is where the players from Blackjack are kicking themselves a little bit, because I don't think they expected that kind of play to come from Black Lost.
Yeah, Black Lost. Blackjack losing out here once again, and it's actually going to be on Miramar. I'm a little bit disappointed in Blackjack Esports thus far, at least. I mean, we are at the halfway point. It's time to turn the tide now for them. They cannot continue this gameplay if they want to continue moving up. So we'll keep an eye on them going forward. We don't want to see them losing out to any other teams anymore, especially if they do want to climb the leaderboard. We know they can. We know they have the capabilities. These UMBRA, though, that takes them out, gets the squad wipe. But kudos, especially big ups to Black Lost here, getting that extreme or that brilliant clutch play there, putting a weak disappointment on or a damper on their night here tonight.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that it was a disappointing performance coming through from Blackjack, right? I'd rather say it was one hell of a clutch coming through from Black Lost, right? Because, I mean, you cannot prepare for that kind of engagement, right? There's nothing you can do to prep for that. So you got to give the shout out there to Black Lost. Absolutely insane. Unfortunately, it was the players there from Blackjack to fall victim to such a beautiful play. But, of course, now, speaking about the plays, it is going to be the players here from Skyrocket once again up in towards that crater near La Bendita, looking to see if they can bring in any angles, as they are starting to take aim on towards the players there from Greedy for kills. It is going to be a rather challenging play to make, as we can see no clear lines of sight. But, of course, speaking about those lines of sight, it is also then going to be the players here from 1 million and one more. Oh! Coming in with a hit. I mean, Makari, that was scary close. Jamaica just narrowly escaping that knock. But, I mean, the kahunas on Makari here for stepping up, peeking out, and being so patient with that peak. It was a great setup coming through there. Of course, now changing over back towards that that 8 scope. I mean, wow, that was a peak coming through with an 8 scope. That was the iron sights, right?
Wow.
Makari not really scoping in on that one, so that was a really impressive hit though.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. You got to hit the TDMs at least 7 days every day for a couple of months to be able to pull that one off. So yeah, the Queen is coming through there from Makari, beautifully done. He's representing one around. They're doing it really well, really well. Still keeping themselves in 4th position as well. Looking like they want to take or further that position, taking on the players from one more as well. So one more will not want to go down because they got a point to prove here against the players over here. So they chase Makari back down the hill. He's not able to push as he'd like to, so he needs to get himself healed up here. That would be the best option. They do need to watch out there because not too far out, we do have the players from Darkness that might just look to capitalize on this third party because it looks like they're just watching the battle go down before they actually take any action. Broly has the bolt action also, so it can go either way for all 3 teams here in this vicinity.
Yeah, it can take quite a bit of a destructive swing here, so it is all going to come down to these positionings playing out favorably for the teams, but it does seem like one round are instead going to be looking to disengage from this kind of pressure cooker position they find themselves in. And of course, we also then see the players here from the side of Greedy for Kills, also now keeping a very watchful eye on the players of you know, the Desert Flame off in the distance there, aka G3, just holding their ground. We did see the players there from Slime also now mounting those hits. BBC getting taken right on down. That was at the hand of the players there from 1 million, applying quite a bit of pressure. So we got Slime and the players there from 1 million positioned down on towards that southwestern region. The shots, of course, just getting driven all the way in. But now it's going to be Weiss trying to see if they can find a play to make on the ridge line here. We got Raouf and the rest of the squad just holding the distance, but a very kind of cautious play coming through here, right? Greedy for Kills not going to be looking to get too aggressive and put themselves in a disadvantage. And of course, now speaking about the aggression here, we can see, of course, the players now from the side of Darkness also just looking to advance themselves a little bit further, trying to find a few potential angles to play from. It is going to be Kronar in a very risky vehicle, right? I would not like to rotate up in a buggy that is, you know, smoking like that. We know that it's definitely not the filter that is causing that.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing, and Krona just taking a huge gamble as he makes his way, well, all of them making their way now to a more favorable position. Seems like he doesn't have a worry at all, knowing that his teammates are in front of him. But either way, for me, that's too much of a gamble at this point in the game, as we do see Savage getting the knock there on one of the players from G4K. So the battle is on out here, as we do see Omar now probably looking to play Medic. Also, Darkness, Broly getting a knock. Here comes the Medic Omar, one of the most aggressive players for Greed for Kills that's forced to play Medic over here, as he's the closest player. There's quite a distance between themselves. Lag also just keeping an eye on them, as we see Raouf just trying to figure out exactly where they are. Nicely, I mean, excellent looting coming in here with the 8x scope on his, is that the mini that he has over there?
That's the AWAM. That is the AWAM right there. I mean, that is going to be absolute devastation once Raouf finds a good angle to kind of dial in on towards. So I'm feeling a little bit sorry for the players there from Lag. But of course, speaking about the position we saw from Lag coming through, right? We got Virtual holding right alongside Lag. So both teams still having to try and get themselves situated back towards that zone. But now it could be that opportunity for Raouf now to utilize that AWAM, instead switching over to the M4, trying to lay the carnage down onto the players there from Darkness. We can see knock after knock now finding its way on in. Raouf and the rest of the squad here from the side of Greedy for Kills really staying true to their name. It is, however, going to be up to Sarah and Krona now to try and kind of pick out some good plays to try and make. Sarah taking several hits. Corona not really moving up just yet, and down goes Sarah. So all the pressure now turns onto the final hopeful. You can see Gaddafi also on an absolute roll there, just flipping the vehicle over, and that of course then only means that the shots are going to come flying straight on through. You can see Kronar now also just pushing up. Right up ahead is going to be the players there from the side of snipers. Look at this now. Gaddafi looking to take a bit of a swing there. As you can see, those rotations now continuing on forward. Let's see whether or not the players here from the side of Virtual will be able to get themselves out of these situations. Taking aim onto the players there from Slime. Picking up a good hit. The first knock being absolutely nearly instant. As you can see, Pronto getting taken right to their knees. Meanwhile, it is still going to be Kronard now trying to just hold on to whatever angles they can try and play, coming in on the very edge. But it is not going to be a very favorable position to be in. As you can see, Kronard actually moving up much further in towards the zone, taking up a very kind of centered position. But it's going to be risky, right? Because once you are down to that final remaining team, or final remaining player, that is where the whole dynamic really starts to shift up. And we can see the players then starting to adopt rather a more of a cautious approach, not really looking to see and put themselves out there.
Yeah, indeed. And talking about the dynamics, just looking at the way Darkness were getting fired at, it looks like they were about to be wiped out, but that third party just helped them out there as they do manage to escape with two more of their players. But one of the players just got sent back to the lobby as well. Also, 4KT lost two of their players here on the ridge of the other one side. So these just Zeus and his teammate that looks like they need to get themselves also on a better position, as they will be going through a dangerous gauntlet of players all over. Zeus 4KT will eventually look like he will get taken out. And there we go. What a elim coming there from Virtual Gaming as he gets taken out eventually. It's just knocks after knocks after knocks on this side of Miramar. It is looking like it's going Virtual's Gaming the way this far, but there we go. Another one of their players gets sent back to the lobby. So they are down to 2 as well as Lag. Lots of teams losing out over here, losing their players. Nice knock coming through with the bolt action over there. As you can see, Darkness also gets down as Gaddafi gets sent back to the lobby by the play zone. What a grenade knock coming in through there to the kill feed as well.
Yeah, and of course now, speaking about those nades, it is going to be Savage now just looking on as the nades continue to fly. We got Buren also now looking to bring in a bit of a push there. We got A9Q also now looking to swing it on in as they now mount a super aggressive push on towards 2 of the players there from the side of the snipers. It's an absolutely beautiful play coming in as those hits just connect up. And now the pressure is on, right? Because Lag need to get themselves situated back in towards the zone. SKYROCKETS also in a little bit less than favorable kind of positioning they find themselves in. Oh, A9Q, that's not what you want to do right there. The vehicle taking several hits, and there's nothing you can do to evade those shots once your vehicle goes belly up. So we can see both Savage and A9Q, all of them now just trying to make the dash. It does seem like Lag is at least able to secure a decent angle moving into the very edge of zone. But I mean, looking at the SKYROCKETS, it is going to be an absolute challenge for them to get a good position dialed on through.
Yeah. It's okay though. I feel like they just got one of their players knocked now there, as you saw on the kill feed as well. Sniper doing their battle outside of the blue, so it's going to be a tough one to get themselves back in contention, or to at least to get back in the zone. Nevertheless, as one of his players are down, he's not going to be able to be the superhero, as we do see Sherbo that eventually spots one of the players from Lag that tries to get covered to get himself back in the game, but that will be a very tight spot. Sherbo should be able to capitalize on this one as he decides to just chuck the smoke over there just to get the cover, get themselves back in the game. They got players on the back. They got players driving in. Nades coming their way. SKYROCKETS looking like they are in a little bit of trouble. Let's see if they can hold it down. Lots of damage coming in by the nades. Sherb also just hitting that first aid kit. He's back in the game. Lad A9Q also forcing that first aid kit. It looks like first aid kits is the name of the game at the moment here on Miramar. It's going raucous right now. There goes the next Molly A9Q. Maybe it's time to get into that vehicle. I'm not sure if it has been destroyed yet, but here comes the full squad. We do have the players from one round up ahead. That's going to make life super difficult for A9Q. It looks like he might just get taken out over here. There we go. Just as you said, he gets taken out. Back to the lobby for him.
Yep, I mean, a very, very challenging position as these teams find themselves now having to try and
Yeah.
cram it all back together. I mean, the players here from 1 million holding a good position on towards that southern side, but as we look on towards one round now, right, they've got that bit of compound positioning towards that northern edge. But they still have to rotate forward, and that zone is going to start closing up very, very soon. They only got about 30 seconds or so left on the clock, and Buden now in a world of trouble there as Lazy Boy comes through with quite a few hits down on towards them, does pick up the trade, and with that, we are down to our final 3 teams. It is going to be the players there from one round, as well as 1 million, and then, of course, the players coming through from the side of UMBRA. So those are going to be our final contenders, looking to step it up for that winner chicken dinner. Of course, the players here from UMBRA already sitting on 10 eliminations, those double digits getting locked on in. But let's see whether or not they'll be able to kind of drive it home all the way through. We got Lazy Boy now taking aim on towards Knight, connects a few hits. But let's see what the players from UMBRA are going to be doing, right? Are they going to try and capitalize on their position with regards to that zone? Wasted now going to be making a bit of a dash. Oh! Up goes the vehicle in a puff of smoke. It is going to be Black Lost to get taken down as well. And now we get to see what the players here from 1 million are looking to bring to the table. Of course, down there are well, a full squad, right? They're going up against what is left of the players there from one round. As we can see, of course, is also then a full squad. So this is going to be quite the showdown, as both teams are going to be looking to play the advantage here. It is going to be the players now from one round to pick up the first trade. Oh, Venom getting hit as well. So it is an absolute back and forth, right? So we did see Senke getting knocked with a quick successive knock then coming down on towards Venom. But let's see whether or not they'll be able rather to pull this one through. Lazy Boy and the rest of the crew trying to push in. You can see that spread now coming through from 1 million as well, but not quite sure whether or not they'll be able to drive it in. It's also in the players here from one round, the former 1 million, looking to kind of bring in a very contentious performance. And I mean, this is kind of such a beautiful position, right? One round, 1 million. I mean, what more could we ask for? The full squads moving into this last bit of the game. And let's see who will be able to pick up those trades. Oh, down goes Knight, though. Now it's only Eflex and Venom left on the side there for one round.
Yeah, first class gameplay coming through here by 1 million, just showing their dominance in in all of the games so far that they have been playing. They got the second. Now they are looking for the chicken dinner here on Miramar, and it looks like it might just go their way. Couple of players left to deal with, and there we go. He gets the last elim, and that's it. Winner, chicken dinner all the way for 1 million, just showing their domination. No matter where they are, give me any map, we will destroy. That's exactly what they're saying. Well done, man.
Yeah, and now we just see why it is the players there from 1 million sitting up at the top of the leaderboard. Absolutely phenomenal performance coming through from them once again. Looking at those elims, we can see that they were able to lock in 9 before the match ended. The players there from one round also then bringing in their 3 eliminations, as well as UMBRA stepping up onto those double digits as we saw there, wrapping up the game with 10 eliminations in that 3rd position. Of course, G3 coming into 4th position, or the Desert Flame taking that 4th place with 1 elimination, or rather 2 eliminations. Flacco and Buden each picking up 1. And then, of course, the SKYROCKETS taking that 5th place. But, I mean, if we look a little bit further down, it was still a pretty tough play. I mean, the greedy for kills, Rauf at least picking up those 4 trades collectively or, individually.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the snipers then coming in on their 5 eliminations over in towards that 10th position. Slime having a little bit of a bumpy run, right? At least taking 12th position with 3 eliminations. But we're not quite sure whether or not that is actually going to be enough for these teams to secure sufficient points to try and strengthen it. I mean, we did see an absolutely great push coming through from Slime in the previous match. This time around, it was quite a different situation. We could see also BBC, one more, and Blackjack having, a really bumpy run there. But of course, our stars of the match will be none other than Black Loss coming in for the side there of UMBRA. We got Sherbo getting the Best Companion Award, as well as Marshall from 1 million being the player to land that final hit to close off the game. So very exciting action coming in from these teams. And of course, like we were kind of expecting to see this moving into today's matches, right? Based on what we had happening over these past 3 days, today the teams are really looking to push it even further. So, I mean, we've already concluded our largest map that the teams are going to be playing on. Next up, we're going to be moving into our smallest one, and also the map that kind of promotes a lot more aggression from these teams. So, curious to see what these teams will be bringing on through. And of course, that only means we are going to be taking a very quick break, and after which we'll be back with the action over in towards Sanhok, as well as our overall standings to see what that point situation is. So, well, stay tuned, and we'll see you guys back in a short few minutes.
You guys now, let's go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to roll straight through on the bunches here, getting ready to move into our third match, of course, heading straight over in towards Sanhok. Now, we've already been seeing an absolutely dominating performance coming through from the players there of 1 million in that very previous match over on towards Miramar. And that, of course, then only results in some pretty insane scores coming through on the overall standings. And of course, we're going to be taking a look at that right now. We can see 1 million now sitting on 206 points. I mean, absolutely
Wow.
insane play. I mean, they almost have the exact same amount of placement points as the team that we can see sitting in second position, which is, of course, the players there from one round, currently sitting on a grand total of 134 points with Skyrockets, yes. Skyrockets still holding on to that third position with 131. So there's a lot of contention, at least for that second and third position coming through from these teams. But I'm also
Yeah.
quite interested to see what's going to be happening between Slime and Virtual Gaming because both teams also find themselves on a shared 122 points apiece. And of course, Umbra holding still on towards that sixth position, now on 118 points, with the addition of Greedy for Kills sitting on 116. So, Umbra still to find a winner chicken dinner. We have not seen them have an absolutely insane run. But one of those runs could potentially be catapulting them right up that leaderboard and maybe moving them in towards that second position. That, of course, is based on, it's not based on the performance of any of the other teams. That's purely just talking about Umbra, right? But who knows? Maybe they could surprise us. Also curious to see what the players there from Team Lag. Of course, it's supposed to say Team Lag, but it's, it's experiencing a little bit of lag, as we can see there. Them sitting on 114 points. And of course, taking a quick look at the second page, one more, just being 5 points away from that, right? So it's still very much neck in neck, even including the players there from BBC. So curious to see who's going to be the next few teams to move into that first page, right? Or could we even see the teams kind of just retaining those positions but starting to shuffle up their placements?
Yeah, indeed. And it seems like it is going to be a battle for at least, second, third, fourth position. Lots of points up for grabs. I mean, you said Umbra, they didn't get the chicken dinners, but when they got themselves into third position there in the previous match here on Miramar, and that just actually kept them in contention or in competition at least with the other squads over there. So a lot of teams, I believe, or most of them, they should continue the gameplay that we saw. And I mean, Miramar, I can't believe what I saw over there. All of the teams or the game getting finished very early, at the very early stages towards the end there, and that is what we want to see, the aggression being dialed up, which is exactly what's happening. And moving on to Sanhok, we can only expect a lot more of that.
Yeah, we can definitely expect a lot more of that indeed. Of course, speaking of which, we are going to be jumping straight into the flight path to see what the teams are going to be bringing on through as they see the zone, although the flight path starting there up alongside Camp Alpha, and of course heading straight down towards the docks in that
Ooh.
southeastern side. So again, right, I've said this so many times before, flight path not as important as this first initial phase, and that is what's definitely going to be quite an interesting one, especially for these teams now stepping up to the plate, looking to see if they can dial up their aggression and bring in some of those much needed points. Of course, a very nice zone coming through, centered up nearly on towards that quarry position. So it is going to allow the teams to come in with a little bit of a different approach, right? And of course, speaking about those approaches, we can see the players already from Virtual Gaming and the Art of Killing pushing straight up in towards Paradise. So it's going to be a very tough start, especially towards that Paradise position, as we've seen a lot of teams actually running into a bit of trouble over in Paradise itself.
Yeah, it's nice to see Sanhok bringing us a little bit of a hot drop here tonight. I mean, that so far, thus far, there's been no hot drops. But of course, it's Sanhok. It's a very small map, and it looks like it's going to be boot camp and Paradise, like you just mentioned over there. Two teams that will be going head to head against each other. So we will see a couple of elims coming through very shortly. And I do also, once again, the splits coming through, looking at that formations, a lot of the teams just deciding to split up, maybe just do some of the recon work. But I mean, it's okay for now. From what we can at least see, DK, they have the
Mm.
freedom to move around before they do actually decide to move a little bit more central into the next zone. And it's going to be a difficult one though, because I mean, we do have a lot of teams uh, taking the main spots or the hard drops like Pi, Nan, and so on and so forth. That will make it very difficult for those teams to come in.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a bit of a challenge indeed for these teams to get some good positional play coming through here. But of course, looking at what we've got happening here on the side of Zeus and Alpha Luigi, right? The only two players from Virtual currently positioned anywhere remotely close to Paradise, right? The rest of the squad, of course, are going to be positioned elsewhere. So this could be quite an interesting play coming through here. I mean, I wouldn't advise Zeus or Alpha Luigi to try and maybe push up in towards Paradise because they don't have the reinforcements. If they do decide, I mean, definitely would be preferring to play it from the edges like we can see here with Zeus doing right now, right? Stick to the edges and try and lure those players from the Art of Killing out instead of looking to go in towards them, because if you do that, you could just as well turn around and head back to the lobby, because that's pretty much what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, and Virtual Gaming taking quite a fall, or rather a dip here on day number 3. They started off in second place, so I mean the pressure's on them right now. It feels like they might just go for exactly the way Zeus is playing. Let's rather play the recon. Let's rather make sure that we know what's happening around us before we actually engage, because we don't want to see them leave this match very early again if they do want to climb the leaderboard. So kudos, well done on Zeus not actually going into hell over there in front of him, because I mean that's like a death wish for me, I would say, if you're going to head into Paradise Resort. It's not going to be paradise, it's going to be hell.
Yeah, I mean the name is a little bit of a troll, right? So that's like it's a big disillusion, right? It's like, oh no, it's Paradise. Let's go in and have some fun. Yeah, it is going to be fun for the Art of Killing. It's definitely not going to be any fun for Virtual, not unless they get those reinforcements to come in. As you can see, it does. You know, the rest of the squad, they've started to kind of condense more in towards this region, but nothing too extravagant. So I definitely expect the players here from Virtual to play this one a lot more cautiously, because you don't want to unwillingly or willingly rather, move yourself into that position thinking that you are going to get a good run, seeing that you have no information as to where the players there from Art of Killing are actually positioned.
Yeah, but if you flip it around again, on the other hand, if they do decide to continue what they are doing, if they just hold the outskirts of Paradise Resort, that will make it so much more difficult for the players that's in Paradise Resort to get out, and then they will again have the upper hand in that position. Or it looks like that's exactly what's happening over here, just with Zeus doing the recon, letting his teammates know they are here, there is a team. Let's not push, let's just wait. Let's time it to perfection before we actually engage, and that will turn out really well for them, I would say. But they need to watch out, because we do know Paradise. It is Paradise when it comes to the loot, hey. So they do need to watch out for what the weaponry is going to come out of there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it does. It is quite a favorable position, especially for Art of Killing. So yeah, Virtual, they need to practice a little bit of that caution and trigger discipline almost. But it does also seem like Art of Killing are instead looking to rotate out. Meanwhile, we can see the players here from G4K keeping a very watchful position, a very watchful eye on the players there from G3. But, well, you know, like we were talking about the teams needing to be a little bit cautious, right? Because Zeus now and the rest of the squad starting to move in already. We did see that first knock coming on towards Mesta as well. Up in the feed, it is going to be Yafoz to get right down to action. But now, of course, up comes those hits, and Yafoz going to be finding themselves in a little bit of a trouble position here. Let's see whether or not they'll actually be able to fall back into the safety of the rest of the squad. Alpha Luigi and the rest of the crew, in the meanwhile, will be looking to push up, as we've got Manfilla, Zilla, and, well, every other Illa right here. A beautiful trade-off heading in both directions. It is going to be a bit of a trade, as we can see coming through in the feed there, but unfortunately not between Virtual and the players here from Art of Killing.
Yeah, Art of Killing yet to put in a performance here tonight, and they are going to be going head-to-head against Virtual Gaming. So it's a little bit of a fair playoff, as we do see one of the boys from Art of Killing getting knocked down, and he will be sent immediately straight back to the lobby. on the back foot. So Virtual Gaming making some strong moves here, as they do look to have a brilliant position. Also coming in with a rotation here, one of the teammates just looking to cover himself behind a rock, and it is Maestre that has spotted two of them up ahead on top. He gets the one, and no push coming through, just holding his ground and making sure that nobody does come from behind. The bullet is flying through here towards Skull, though. It's going to be a tough one. Virtual Gaming looking like they should approach this one with caution though.
Yeah, they should come in with one of those long yardsticks and not look to get themselves too exposed pushing into this position. But of course, now speaking about pushing, it is going to be the players here from G4K also looking to apply some pressure onto the players there from G3. As you can see, Alpha Luigi and Skull going into a bit of a trade, and it's going to be Omar on the opposite end now looking to try and reach across. Oh, does find a beautiful hit onto Buren, as does Skull, as they get such a great hit, lining it up onto with Alpha Luigi there. So Skull trying to step up with the aggression. I'm liking this off-angle position coming through here from Mester. As you can see, all the way down towards that southern side. But Mester's about to have a bit of a surprise come in as well. Meanwhile, Omar taking aim on towards Tornado. Tries to land a few of those hits, but not really working out too favorably for them. Meanwhile, we can see Mester and just still keeping their eyes absolutely glued on towards Zeus's position. Gaddafi right there for a bit of that reinforcement. But Mester has one of the Virtual Gaming players right here alongside them. So this is where Mester now is turned into the final survivor for their squad.
Wow.
Up comes the rush. Up comes the pressure from Yafoz. Mester is able to trade it off. Let's see whether or not Mester will now continue on with the rampage.
Yeah, question is, will he continue pushing? Couple of shots coming in, and it looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here. He can't go anywhere besides forward and maybe look like he can try and take them on, but it's going to be so difficult. I mean, all of his teammates has been sent back to the lobby thus far. Art of Killing also needs to get a couple of more points on the board to maybe push them a bit further up, but it's looking like they will be sent back early, as we do have a push coming through now. Here it goes. He has the good weapon. He has the UMP, and it's going to be... and of course, it is Art of Killing that eventually that gets sent back to the lobby over there, as we do see G4K still in battle here. It is a G3, the opponents. They managed to get 1 or 2 down. It looks like they are back on their feet, though. As is this, I can't see the name properly. DK is Rauf.
Yeah, it is indeed Rauf now, just trying to play it up against the wall. Up comes Tornado, looking to push out onto the road, but making themselves a very easy target, as we can see those shots just getting driven in. And with that, the action over on towards this western side of zone is going to continue on a little while longer. Currently, the players here from Greedy for Kills already sitting on 3 of those eliminations. We can see the rest of the squads now still looking to make their way on in. SKYROCKETS, a very delayed rotation, but we've been seeing that come from them very consistently across the board, especially on Sanhok, right? Sanhok, that's kind of the approach. They drop down to Sami, that Nakam position. They delay those rotations as long as they can, only starting to venture forward once we hit around about that 3rd, 4th phase. So you can see Blue Zone, of course, is going to be closing up as well. And this is going to be pushing the teams to yet another potential point of contention here.
Yeah, indeed. And for SKYROCKETS, that has been serving them well. I mean, they started off the day once again, were in 3rd position, dropping a little bit. I mean, not getting themselves in the best positions in the final or the last few games, not finding themselves in any of the top 5 positions at least. So let's see if they can actually bring that Sanhok late gameplay towards the end. That would serve them really well. But it is G4K that looks like they are dominating. They are bringing the action, and they are looking for fights here very early, if I might add. I think it's a little bit still early in the game for these fights, DK.
You know, it's never too early for anything, right? The sooner they can step it up, the sooner they can thin the herd, you know, the better chance they have of being more successful moving into those later few phases. Because this is a big challenge that we've been seeing come through from these teams. Having these large numbers of players surviving into those late phases makes a strategic play very challenging, right? It really pushes these teams to the very limit of what they are capable of doing. I mean, it results in some pretty exciting gameplay, but I can only imagine the pressure on the shoulders of these teams.
Yeah. And I'm actually happy to see the big black crocodiles on the camera as well, because they are yet also, for me, from my side at least, to put a good performance in here tonight. I believe they've been one of the teams that's been consistent. They've managed to get themselves in the top 3 positions very early in the stages of this competition. However, it's coming to the late stages, towards the end of the final stages of this competition, and they've yet to do or to bring that aggressive side of the gameplay. I mean, I myself personally have not seen that yet. Snipers over here, they have shown that they can dial it up, but it can go either way. It is Sanhok. It's a difficult one to play. CQC is the name of the game over here, as we do see snipers rather forming up on each other, looking to find themselves close by, because, I mean, we know that is the best thing to do. You don't want to be caught all alone. You will get sent back to the lobby immediately, and that will be it for your team. I mean, you'll be on the back foot going into the final stages, as we are almost there. With three or less players, it's not going to serve you that well. You will get spotted.
Yeah, you will get spotted indeed. So it is going to be up to all the teams now, still looking for a bit of an entry point or position to be holding, right? The team's already situated up in towards zone. Not going to be looking to step out too aggressively just yet, right? They want to see instead what the rest of the lobby is going to be bringing through, whether or not they could be having a few of those eliminations coming through. And it reminds me very much of like a Venus flytrap, right? Laying the bait and then just waiting. And that is what we see with the positions coming through there from Lag, for instance, down towards that southern edge, with the players from one more also holding onto the compound over towards the western edge of Quarry. And then, of course, BBC, greedy for kills, and UMBRA. So a lot of teams moving in up towards that Quarry region, being quite cautious with their approaches. We can see also the players from Snipers we have on the screen, but also we can see their position up on the map, right? Position in towards that northwestern compounds, but they have to proceed with caution, right? You can't just rush up without gathering the necessary information.
Yeah, because they do have teams all anywhere you look, on the left, on the right, up ahead. We have the big black crocodiles. I believe they should sit exactly where they are, because they find themselves dead center in the current zone. So whichever the way it shifts, it will be favorable for them. I mean, they can also fire their shots from a distance. It's going to be difficult to try and come in and steal that position from them. So big black crocodiles looking like it is serving them well with where they find themselves. We do have a couple of knocks coming in the kill feed as well. So battles coming in on the west side, as they are going to be trying to come back down into the next lobby, and it falls on the big black crocodiles. Snipers also just trying to hold the hill over here, as they do find themselves in a little bit of a tight spot as they make their way in. And then we got Pixie just trying to be dead still silent, as who is this pulling up here? Is that darkness?
Yeah,
Ooh,
indeed,
one
it
of the players
is.
gets found eventually. There we go.
Yeah, and of course the players from Slime, we did see a few of those knocks already coming in here, but Slime still holding on to their 3 players. It is going to be Pixie also now looking to step it up, finding a few of those sprays, actually dealing with the squad there from Darkness. So beautiful push as the players there from one more are able to hold on to that compound and that region. But they have to reposition, as we can see that zone, of course, now just moving slightly away from them. So it is going to be somewhat of a challenge, at least for them to try and keep up the pressure. But as we can see now, everyone looking to just get themselves a little bit more situated. You got the players here from Lag also just trying to play up on towards that ridge line. And even the players there from BBC now feeling a little bit of that contention coming through. As you can see, Kratos and the rest of the squad still huddling in on towards this edge of the Quarry region. So definitely not going to be looking to make any outlandish performances. But they got to be careful, because as you can see, Lag, Safwan here just looking over in their direction. So I'd feel a little bit nervous if they knew what we knew, you know, knowing the positions of the other teams surrounding them. So it is going to be quite a push to come in from them as they continue to now make these plays. But of course, speaking about those beautiful positions, right? We can see the players here from One More also holding a steady angle. We got the players there from Virtual also now starting to take aim, take a few swings up towards that northern edge of the zone, as well as they're looking to go up against the players here from 1 million. So we can jump straight in towards that, as there's now Marshall on the defensive, as they are now getting rushed, and a little bit of that barrage of carnage now starting to find its way on in.
Yep, this is the opportunity that they've been waiting for. One of the teams that you've got to put a big disappointment on their performance. They've been the dominating team, I would say. So let's see what they can do against the players that they are busy rushing them at the moment. But Marshall, we can see he is holding his ground firmly against three players up ahead there. The nades are going to be coming his way as he chucks one back at them and he gets the knock beautifully placed there. And he sends him back to the lobby as well. So Marshall on fire for one more. Let's see as he does trade off shots, gets the knock. Marshall on fire, gets the Elam as well, looking to clutch this one and get the squad wipe by himself, mind you me, as he brings his teammate back up. Blue Zone is going to it at this point though, and it is G4K Weiss. I'm surprised that he decides to go for the lower ground here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play what you got to play, right? If you got to try and keep it a little bit more on the quiet side, that is the approach of the day. And of course, we see the players now all just looking to get themselves situated back in towards that zone. Sunny now trying to hit a few shots across on towards Weiss here. Well, not really. It's going to be Weiss instead trying to get those shots in. Also, the snipers turning their attention right towards Marshall. So some very challenging plays coming through as that zone will be closing up in just a few more seconds. But is Weiss now looking to try and pick up those hits towards BBCs? You can see Nihal and Sunny just holding off not too far away. But looking at what we've got coming through, right, what they've got to work with this current zone, they definitely don't have a lot of options left here, as we can see a big convergence of teams on those outlying regions. So no one really, so far, just yet, being able to secure any decent positionings. We can see BBC also facing a little bit of a challenge there, so shots continue to play. We've got the players from 1 million also now getting reduced down to 1. So UMBRA instead now starting to move on out. It is going to be Weiss looking to welcome a few unfortunate customers to the table, as Weiss now also starts to focus on getting those positions kind of dialed in. We can see the players here from Blackjack also just up ahead of them, taking a few hits. And this is a continuous kind of play that we're going to be having as these teams try to kind of just stay ahead of the carnage rolling in behind them.
Wow, so much pressure all over the map. That is the big black crocodiles that will be smiling all the way towards the end of the zone as they still find themselves within the zone. So beautiful zonal gameplay by them, finding themselves in the optimal position, and they just get to pick off one at a time, at least from the distance that they find themselves. And this is the spot what I was talking about. This is the trap. You don't want to find yourself down below here in quarry, but it is Weiss over there that you saw that managed to just play it to perfection, DK. I've never seen such brilliant gameplay, especially coming from this little trap here. But it looks like it is because we have a lot of players on the outskirts, maybe just taking that attention off the guys here down below. So can go either way. Here comes the enemy, one of them approaching. Zeke, I believe it is from... Beautiful spot over here. Once again, Weiss is on fire as he gatekeeps anyone that tries to come into his territory. But it is on the left-hand side, big black crocodile still dominating. They lost one of their players not too long ago. Another nade kill or nade not coming into the kill feed over there. And we are down to our last few teams, and it's about to go down, DK.
Yeah, up comes the plays, the pushes. Let's see whether or not Nihal will be able to hold on to the pressure here as the shots now rain on down on towards BBC. UMBRA stepping up to the plate. With that, we do see Sass just ahead of the players here from BBC getting taken down. And off they go. It's going to be A9Q being the last hopeful now for the side of Lag to try and hold on for dear life. Meanwhile, so many more hits continue to get lasered in. Right, the players here from UMBRA having control. They have possession of the zone. All they got to do now is just look to try and kind of push it out, right that storm as best they can. But looking at the positions we have available in zone, right, they are sharing this with the players from one round. So it's not a decided position just yet. So UMBRA still need to bring in a little bit of caution. But fortunately for them, the players here from one round still need to try and cover the ground as Bokus now takes aim right there on towards Omar. Just hitting some devastating shots into the side of the players there from the SKYROCKETS. With that, we are still sitting on 9 teams, but we are down to 13 players now. There's going to be the players here from one round trying to keep up the pressure as they turn their attention on towards Morteza. Out comes the nades. Will this be the one? No, Morteza managing to evade the majority of the damage. But that zone, as we can see up on the minimap, taking a bit of a push in towards that no man's land once again. And of course, we got several players positioned out in towards that blue zone. And I mean, when I say several, aside from the players we can see currently situated in the zone,
Yeah.
the rest of the lobby is out in the blue. I mean, I gotta zoom out so far to
my
show all these
Whoa.
positions. We got Gary Boy all the way up north there on the edge of Camp Bravo. And then, of course, we got the Trip from RILA Insider all the way down towards Camp Charlie. So a very spread out positioning coming in from a lot of these teams. But up comes Knight now, looking to push up in towards zone. It is going to be UMBRA coming in from the edge. Morteza getting taken right on down. And with that, all the pressure now turns down towards Pocus, the final hopeful for the side of UMBRA. So this could maybe be the one for the players of one round to lock in a winner-winner chicken dinner.
Indeed, doing really well. Fantastic gameplay by them. I mean, I was going to say hats off to the players from UMBRA, just managing to get themselves once again in that last couple of teams. They've done it in the game before, and this is what we want to see from UMBRA, so that they can actually just get a step in there to keep them or solidify themselves to get into those top positions over there. As we can also see here, 1 million, like you said, dominating, just enjoying the ride over here as he's trying to be the bait for any of the teams so that they can get the fire coming towards him and the rest of his teammates can just deal with the threats. But I mean, look at this. It's been a little bit of a repeat here on Sanhok, eh? The blue zone game getting caught all the way outside because of all the contention, all the firefights that happens. There's almost like there's no route to get into that last circles.
Yeah. I mean, nothing is for certain, right? As we know, even though you might have 8 meds to your name, it's not going to stop that blue zone from raining down terror on towards you. As you can see, Trip also now rocking those 8 meds. So it is a little bit of a heal off coming in from our 2 players situated the furthest away from that zone. So it is going to be a race to the finish to see who will be able to secure themselves a decent finish. And of course, now speaking about those decent finishes, we could very well see Overkill getting sent back to the lobby over in that 6th position based on the amount of meds they still have available. That was the last one. Quickly peeks out, signs off. Will this be the end? I think it will be. With that, oh, it is an unfortunate good night going out to them. We've got Makari here coming in for the side of one round. Still looking to just, to scour the area. Hoping to find any potential plays to be making, but unfortunately, as we can see, no one really being close enough to get spotted out. Everyone are just huddling up in the hardcover. So Makari just going to be waiting. We've got Pocus also now meeting their end. And again, Makari, yep, there we go. Being able to hold on to that winner-winner chicken dinner. Just reigning supreme moving into this phase. And with that, it is going to be one round to pick up an absolutely glorious play. We can hear the shots of celebration going off there in the background as the teams just enjoy their moment in the sun. That, of course, is our 3rd chicken dinner coming in for one round. So really phenomenal push. Of course, this is our former 1 million team. As you can see, Makari still holding on to the tag there. Just to remind us, in case anybody forgot, right? But of course, we can see RILA Insider taking that 2nd position, coming in with a good finish. I mean, Zeke only finding those 2 elims, but still, 2nd place awards them a decent amount of placement points. SKYROKETS also having quite a devastating performance with regards to eliminations. But again, placement points, it works at the end of the day. UMBRA finishing strong though, coming in with 7 eliminations in 4th. We got 1 million picking up 2 eliminations all the way in 5th position. We got 1 more. Then also picking up their 5. We got Lag on 4. You can see Slime not finding anything. BBC picking up 4. But look at this, right? Greedy for kills. Weiss picking up 6 eliminations. I mean, absolutely insane performance. So I think we have a pretty good idea of who our MVP could potentially be. Of course, we can see the players there from Blackjack only picking up 2. Snipers, not a single one. Virtual sitting on 5. We got Darkness then on 2. The players from the side of Art of Killing picking up 1, as well as the squad there for G3 or the Desert Flame picking up only that 1. It's going to be Maestro. Taking a quick look at our stars of the match, it will be none other than Weiss as our MVP. So, no surprise on that front with those 6 eliminations and the 790 damage being dealt. And then, of course, as we can see, we got BBC Nihal getting our Best Companion award. So, gotta say, some very satisfying plays coming through from these teams once again. Really happy with how everything kind of turned out on towards Sanhok.
Yeah, satisfaction guaranteed here on Sanhok. I mean, brilliant gameplay coming through from one round, coming from second place on Miramar, and they're coming through to get the winner chicken dinner. And that looks like they will be getting or edging that much closer towards at least coming to the guys from 1-0.
Yeah, some very, very satisfying plays indeed. But of course, that means, right, that we are 3/4 of the way done with our matches today. Of course, only one more still to go on our second to last day. That is, of course, going to be seeing us heading straight back into Erangel. So be sure to stay tuned. We'll be back right after the break with our overall standings, as well as the last match right here on day 4 of the Continental Finals of the International Africa Gaming Cup. So be sure to stay tuned. I'll see you guys back in a very short time.
Beautiful.
What's up, guys? We're getting ready to move into our final match of the day. Of course, going to be heading right back into Erangel to see what the teams are going to be bringing out onto the battlefield. That final push. And of course, we also do have our updated standings coming through for these teams. So far, I mean, yeah, 1 million. They've been bringing in quite an absolutely insane performance here today. But we got to take a look to see what the point situation is. As we can see, of course, 1 million sitting on 214 points, still holding on to pole position with one round, still being hard on their heels there with 156 points. Of course, SKYROCKETS clinging on to that third position with 143. Team UMBRA now sitting up in towards fourth position there, as we can see, with 133 to their name. So a great push, a great jump coming in there from UMBRA, right? They started in 6th place before Sanhok. After Sanhok, they find themselves all the way up in towards 4th, instead actually leapfrogging their way ahead of the players there from Virtual Gaming. Slime 4KT, however, getting moved from 4th place, where they had 122 points, down to 7th, down to 123. So only 1 point being brought in there by Slime in this last match. So a little bit less than favorable kind of position they find themselves in. But as we know, that's just, you know, how the cookie crumbles. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to try and, you know, make the best of the situation they find themselves in. So it's going to be an exciting one to see where these teams are going to be looking to push themselves up towards next. And of course, taking a quick look at that second page, we can see still the players there from one more being in a very contentious position, still being able to actually catch up to that first page, right? Only 2 points away. But the question is, will they be able to bring it together moving into this final match of today?
Yeah, it's the last game of the night, so the possibility is there. And we've seen one more bring it in a couple of games. They've got a couple of elims as well. Yet to get that winner chicken dinner, just like the BBC boys and the Real Insider players as well. They've got the chicken dinners, however, they are below one more esports. So let's see if they can actually get into that contentions, get that kills a little bit more higher, as well as the placement points.
Yeah, it is going to be, you know, a bumpy ride as we know. And it's going to be an exciting road as well, as we are just counting down the moments before we start heading over into our match here for today. The last one, the final Erangel, the final showdown. But of course, it's going to be interesting to see what Flight Path will bring, where that zone's going to be going, and of course, where our first few engagements will be finding their way on through. We know the previous round, the one that lagged so much, was all the way, or finished up all the way down towards that southern edge of the zone. But now we have the opportunity to have a bit of a retake on that, as we can see the flight path starting all the way towards that Sosnovka military island, and of course concluding towards Stolba up in that far northern edge. So it's going to be a very comfortable drop, at least coming through for the players from the side of, 1 million, right? Stolba is kind of their home turf. That's where they like to drop down. So curious to see where that zone is going to be going, because this flight path is pretty centered, so it allows quite a bit of access to all the teams to pretty much get to their usual kind of drop locations.
Yeah, pick and choose. You can decide exactly where you want to go. No matter where on Erangel your favorite hot or your favorite spot would be, you can go with this plane flight. So I do love what I am seeing over here, which obviously means we might just see a little bit of a longer first zone, but you never know, because I mean, everybody loves to go to these certain places. I'm talking about school, Razak, Yasnaya usually gets taken over by 4KT. So it can go either way. We have a team also leaving very early, going to military base, that is G4K, and they get to enjoy that the entirety of the southern island to themselves. Also, we've got Art of Killing going towards the Quarry area, Primorsk, and they will be enjoying that by themselves as the next zone does pull in, and they will be smiling as they do land over there towards Quarry side. Also, we do have is that RILA Insider just on the edge outside, or just outside, or just after the bridge area on the west. Darkness also up above of them. Team Umbra, who's been doing it really well thus far. Lag also, they will be taking the way or the east side of the next zone and maybe just gatekeep a little bit because they do have a good couple of teams on their east. Couple of shots coming in from 4KT at Yasnaya. It is Blackjack Esports that will be looking to float right over them and maybe look to do some looting on the outskirts over there. Yeah, there we go. Stalbo, we got our players from is a lazy boy over there taking the entirety of Stalbo to himself. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a smooth and easy loot coming through for 1 million there, as they've got a lot of
Yeah.
space to work with. So they're not going to have a worry in the world with regards to loot. And I think that's kind of why they like to go to that kind of Stalber Kameshki starting point, because it
Yeah.
allows them a lot of flexibility, a lot of, breathing room. They don't have
Yeah.
to really deal with anyone moving in that direction. And you know that when someone drops there, that they are there because they are looking to kind of step it up to the
Yeah.
players there from 1 million, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory in and of itself there. But also another kind of play that we do see also then is going to be the players from the side of BBC getting into a little bit of an early engagement here. Got Sunny taking several hits as they try to now put quite a bit of distance in between themselves and those shots coming through from the players there of 1 round being right behind them. But, I mean, it's a fair trade-off, right? Because we did see Knight also getting taken on down. So they've been trying to retaliate, looking to bring in a little bit of that repayment on towards BBC. But unfortunately, for 1 round, BBC was able to kind of duck in behind the hardcover just in the nick of time, evading the majority of the carnage that could have found its way in.
Yeah, that would have been a big disappointment for Big Black Crocodiles and would have put a huge damper on their spirits, at least because of tonight. It just hasn't been the night thus far. I'm really hoping that they can bring it back at least at the end it off with a bang here. And it is actually going to be themselves here at Malta with one of the teams down below there that they will have to deal with sooner rather than later. And I don't know. If that's the team that they are going to go up against, it's going to be a tough one, DK. Lots of hard cover, like you just mentioned, also that they can deal with. Here comes the Uber, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go, because there we go. Because they decide to leave the area of Malta, not to engage. They do need to do some looting. So right decisions being made at this point in time. It's very early stages. So let's root for Big Black Crocodiles for tonight at least. That's what I'm going to be doing. I want to see a little bit more of the previous tactics coming in.
Well, only time will tell where exactly BBC is going to be pushing it through. Of course, it is going to be Sunny just, giving us a little bit of a preview as to what the 686 sounds like. So thank you so much for that one, Sunny. The shoddy sounds fantastic. They shoot even better. I'm just saying, the up and unders, quite a bit of fun, especially when you do a little bit of that clay pigeon shooting. It's a nice weapon to hold. But of course, speaking about nice weapons, we are going to be looking at a few of those nice rotations to come through, as we can see the players here from UMBRA now just exploring the region further down towards that southwestern side, heading away from school, looking to kind of get themselves situated much closer to that centered zone. And that could mean that we could perhaps have them rotating all the way up in towards Gatka. I mean, I'd love myself some of that chopstick action. As it does result in some pretty challenging plays for these teams, but it does seem like UMBRA could maybe be beelining exactly towards there, or maybe relatively close to there. They got to be careful though, because we've got the players from the snipers rotating up alongside them as well, or rather behind them. So it is going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game, but nothing too drastic, right? As you can see, a lot of the teams still making their way through the looting phase. No one really looking to bring in any aggressive rotations. So it's still going to be down to that situational play, that positional play looking to come through. As you can see, UMBRA now still making their way up into center zone. We got lag, of course, already established within the zone. The players there from the Desert Flame, aka G3, rolling in on their usual position, farm down on towards the edge there. But again, nothing too concerning coming through with regards to rotation. So I do think as we make it past this, the end of this first phase, moving through into that second phase, once these rotations start coming in, I think that's where we're going to have a few more engagements coming in. But again, it will just be a little bit of that happenstance coming through here as the teams are crossing past each other, looking to pull into their final destination.
Indeed, and it looks like the final destination is the name of the game for Umbra, and or Umbra, it has been serving them really well thus far, finding themselves in third position. They've got the fourth spot as well, and yeah, in the final game, they're looking to carry that through, just trying to find themselves in those in the zone, I would say. Even though they've not really been in the zone when it comes to the battles, however, they've been getting those big points when it comes to placement. So it's been serving them well, and I'd like to see them continue that because it's been pushing them up on the leaderboard. So I do love what I'm seeing by Team Umbra over here as well, as they do. They continue with the tactics that they've been pushing through the entire night.
Yeah. Only time will tell where exactly they are going to be ending up. But of course, now we know where Fantasy is going to be ending up. Right here on this little hillside, waiting to see what the players there from G3 could be bringing in as they are rotating up as well. Looking to stick to that more southern approach as the zone is going to start closing up. As we can see, the teams now just trying to kind of, dial in those rotations, looking for a little bit more of a decisive position to move in towards. Still have several teams yet to kind of catch up to the zone, but it is going to be a potential play coming through there for 1 million and Virtual Gaming up towards that more northern angle. As we can see, those plays coming up, but look at the convergence up in towards more center zone. Fantasy finding a bit of a tough run here as they now get sent away. A very abrupt finish coming in there, but Kakao quick to react, now ready to take aim on towards RILA and and look to give them a little bit of a repayment for the efforts that they've brought in, taking down one of their teammates. UMBRA now also getting into a bit of an exchange. They're up in towards Katkas. We can see those shots coming in. It's going to be Black Lost to get finished up, and off they go. UMBRA down to 2, wasted on focus. Now trying to push in as that zone now shifts a little bit further on towards the eastern side. So again, not a drastic, super aggressive shift coming in, but, it is going to make it a little bit more decisive for the team, still looking to kind of, pick a position to rotate in towards. Of course, speaking about rotations, it is going to be the players here from the snipers now rushing down on towards UMBRA. As you can see, wasted now getting taken down, and it all now turns on towards focus to keep up the aggression. Up comes the rush from the snipers, and it is the end of the road as Naruto lands the final blow of devastation and wrapping it up for UMBRA. So, we were hoping to see a chicken potentially coming through for UMBRA, but as we know, it's not on the books anymore as they now just got sent back. And, now we look to see where the next potential fight could be breaking out.
Yeah, man. Surprise, surprise. Remarkable spot there by the snipers. They're just catching them in that little bit of a trap that they found themselves in as they were trying to rotate and get themselves in a more favorable position, maybe being the jack in the box in that position from that lower ground. But however, snipers have been watching them and they timed it to perfection. And squad right for them, 4 elims to their name. Brilliantly done here to start off the last game for snipers. And hats off to them to pull that one off. Umbra has been one of the teams that's been performing here tonight. So snipers, they do snatch that one in the bag, and they go forth now with a little bit more, I would say that they would feel a little bit more excited to get into more fights, because we do know snipers, they need to get themselves more elim. So nice start off for the beginning of this match here on the angle.
Yeah, a little bit of that je ne sais quoi, right, coming through. But we'll have to wait and see kind of what that kind of unfolds into as we now jump over on towards Flacco and the players here from the G3, aka Desert Flames. That's what the DFE stands for, if you guys didn't know, of course. But it is going to be the opportunity for Flacco and co to come in with a few more hits, right? We know that they are in need of a few points. They are currently positioned in 13th position, so any additional points they can find or manage would be quite favorable. But, we're going to have to wait and see whether or not that is going to be working out in their favor, as Flacco is somewhat isolated from the rest of the team. Nothing too drastic, nothing to really be too worried about. But what I would be worried about is going to be the players from the side of Virtual Gaming, and 1 million now caught up in towards Rozok. Both teams are going to be trying their utmost to get themselves a little bit closer towards that zone. So far, the players here from 1 million managing to evade the damage coming through from that second phase blue zone, but they have not been able to evade a lot of the damage being dealt to them from the players there from Virtual Gaming. So it is, again, down to those opportunistic performances. I mean, we also have Carry Boy from 1 million all the way up alongside the players there from SKYROCKETS. So this could take quite a few swings now, actually, for the players here of 1 million. So, yeah, we're just going to stay tuned to find out how this will unfold.
Yeah. Ooh, talking about unfold, there comes the shots in as Marshall manages to escape, and he actually manages, he gets himself knocked as he jumps out of his vehicle a little bit too early while the vehicle was moving. Can his teammates play medic and get him? The teammates or the enemy are pulling up also quick, fast. Carry Boy needs to get there as fast as he can. I don't know, the distance looks a little bit too far. They might just get the Elam over there. And there we go. Back into the kill feed, back to the lobby. Well done. So that will put them on a back foot over here, going forth into the game with one player less. Not looking too good for them here in the last game.
I mean, it's nothing to be too worried about, right? We know 1 million is a very capable team, so, you know, I'm not too worried, too phased about what that could mean for them. A slight change up in the tactic there is what they're probably going to be applying as we now quickly jump over onto the players here from 1 round. Taking aim on towards Lag. Lag now getting caught in a very difficult position here because we got the players from the side of Greedy for Kills also taking a few swings there at them. So it is going to be somewhat of a challenging play for them to try and get themselves out of. But who knows? Maybe they might succeed, or maybe 1 round could send in those needed hits to close it up and send the players there from Lag backing in towards the lobby. Of course, speaking about backing, the players here from Art of Killing are just going to be looking to pack themselves full of meds. Manfala quickly moving on towards that res, on towards Mester. So they're bouncing back, looking to bring in another bit of a change here. But down to 2 players they are, right? Only coming in with 3 players. Manfala taking a little bit of damage now as they try and vault up into the window. So some really good aggression being shown here by the players from the darkness. Quick on the triggers there, just jumping at these opportunities.
Yeah, Manipulator is managing to be able to save himself there as he gets into this compound over here. So he needs to heal up. No first aid kit, so it's going to take a while. I'm surprised Darkness has not pulled up as yet, so that they can get that elims. Snipers also just looking to get all their vehicles in order, covered, so that they can move in case the next zone pulls in. We've got Zaid over here looking to get some high ground or get to the top and into the open to get some shots in on the enemy. We see them up ahead there on the hills, and he does spot one. Doesn't engage at the moment, though. It can go either way. I mean, we see a good split between team number 3 over there, and that's going to be Slime 4KT. They've been doing it really well, mind you, so I'd expect another brilliant game from them, especially on a angle. We've seen now Fennec gets spot from Big Back Crocodiles, and he gets him back to the lobby. Sunny now also just trying to stay in the hard cover in the meantime, as well as Kratos on the edge of the hill over here. Zay doing really well as well, just managing to hold down that area.
Yeah, but it's going to be a challenge whichever way they spin this one. And now it is going to be up to Kratos to see where they can look to push this one, as the zone is going to be closing up momentarily. And with that, the 4th phase has been decided. It is, in fact, then going to be taking a little bit of a twist over on towards that more eastern position as we now take a quick look at that. Several teams still being positioned on the outlying region, so no one locked into any particular angles just yet. Sunny still holding up to this little shack, waiting to see if Kratos can successfully and safely rotate in. Of course, now taking a bit of a swing on towards Greedy for Kills as Weiss gets traded up. We got Omar right there on the opposite end, bringing in a little bit of that reinforcement. But let's see whether or not this could be a good potential play now for Sunny to make, because they can't really see Omar, and it is going to be Kratos finding themselves in a very sticky position.
Yeah, I mean, that will be a big loss if they do lose Weiss over there. Weiss being one of the most dominant players for them, as we see the nades getting chucked over there by Kratos. He's really close by, and it looks like he might be able to do all the damage as he does get another knock coming through, one of his teammates getting them, and they are in a little bit of trouble over there. Lots of pressure being applied by the big black crocodiles, even though they are one down. There we go, spots another one, gets him back down on his knees, and will get the elimination as well. Shoot, but decides to fall back slightly as one of his teammates just got knocked over there. So that buys them some time to get themselves back up on their feet. Beautiful reverse coming in here by Kratos, as well as he will go back into the shack here, get his teammate back up on his feet. That will be the best idea. But I mean, they nearly had him. What a close one. Nice performance coming in by both teams.
Yeah, but a very opportunistic play coming in there from BBC. And of course, now speaking about these opportunities, it is going to be the players from 1 million now looking to kind of pick up a few more of those trades, as one round has just moved up ahead of them. Oh, it is going to be Lazy Boy to get traded in, as Makara sets in a beautiful nade to quickly pick up that trade. And now putting Senkei on quite a bit of a back foot. Of course, Senkei finding themselves in a very challenging position here. It is going to be a rush now also on the opposite end, as the players there for greedy for kills sent down upon the team here from BBC. Kratos now just trying to evade those shots, trying to hop, duck, dive, and dodge it. But unfortunately, off they go back into the lobby for the entire squad. It is now going to be several teams just trying to hold on to whatever they can manage coming through here. Also, the players from G3 huddling up into the long grass. Out in the cornfields, there's going to be Buden keeping a very watchful eye on the edge of that zone. The players there from SKYROCKETS, of course, now falling to G3. But with that, we are down to 13 remaining teams.
Wow.
And, of course, 40 remaining players. So it is going to still be a very contentious play as we, see this zone kind of pulling up in towards this more fielded position. So very exposed kind of region for these teams to try and now, make some good footings happen.
Yep. Lots of exposure, not much to work with. Couple of compounds to try and stay in, and we always see Art of Killing being one of the teams that finds themselves in a good compound where they can just fire shots, third party, pick out whoever they can, and they didn't come out first in most of the battles tonight, but let's see if they can actually do that here in game number 4. I sure want to just a big shout out there for G4K descending down on BBC and sending them back to the lobby. What a game, what a play that was coming in by G4K. But nevertheless, it is going to be Venom over here, just using the ridge line to his advantage. Teammates are far behind as he tries to keep the enemy at bay. Lots to do for Venom over here.
Yeah, definitely quite a lot to do indeed, but it's going to be a very tricky play still, as we can see Venom now up on towards that northern edge of the zone. Meanwhile, the players here from G3 feeling the pressure over on towards that western side, as we can see that zone taking a swinger down towards the east. But let's see, will one round be able to show some dominance as they look to get themselves kind of positioned up into any angles? I mean, we got the players there also from Virtual as well as Slime held up in towards the very edges of Pachinki.
Yeah.
No clear lines of sight being locked in just yet, but they're definitely going to try and kind of see if they can pick up anything else. It is going to be also the players there from Darkness now pushing up on towards that western side of the zone itself. Oh, but they are running into quite the trouble as they now feel those stings coming in. The players here from One More just dialing up the aggression, just welcoming them up. Virtual Gaming also coming in with a little bit of a rumble and a roll as they look to push forward. Eflex and Knight beautifully set up ahead as well. As see Sarah now quickly just trying to bring in that res on towards Krona. Oh, but look at the shots coming through there from Venom, just lasering down on towards Virtual. Yafos and Gaddafi goes down. Broly now trying to step up, trying to hold it up against the players here from One More. Let's see, will Broly get us? We can see Pixie and Skull just up ahead of them. Venom trying to see if they can maybe spot the play on towards the players there from the Art of Killing. Up comes Broly looking to get the trade. We do see Messer now getting taken down. Manfulla huddling up behind the vehicle. Oh, Broly so low on their health bar. Up comes Skull, Pixie, Overkill, and Jamaica. So it's going to be a 1v4 rush. Oh, and it's not going to be enough. And Broly now has to back up their bags and make their way on back. Of course, Slime 4KT in a very similar kind of predicament. Up comes Marco here from the side of the snipers. Sends out those nades, those utilities, looking to close it up. Will they be able to pull it all the way through? I mean, Storm coming in with an absolutely phenomenal play. in the previous matches here, but let's see, will this be another one for the books, right? So far, they've already lost Plaza, so we know that they are down to a 3-player team, but will they be able to make that bounce back? Will they be able to kind of, you know, bring in a quick little bit of that retaliation? So, meanwhile, Storm is healing up. We do see Manfilla now continuously finding themselves under pressure. But we've got even more teams now getting ready to mount the aggression. It is going to be Storm to get traded down. Zeus down to super low health bars here. Quickly trying to recover as much as they can before looking to get themselves resituated and out of this troubling play. But now, Venom also in a bit of a bother. Let's see. It's going to be 1 million rushing up on towards Zeus. Will the trade come through? Oh, Zeus picks up the first. Up comes the vehicle. Come on. This could be a clutch still coming in for Slime. Up comes the hit. Was firing through the smokes. Oh, and Zeus gets picked up. Off they go. Manfilla's also right there on the very edge of zone, keeping a very watchful eye now on Jamaica. But let's see, will the final player for the Art of Killing be able to find any success? No, it is going to be Jamaica for one more, finding the last hopeful there, and off they go. Down to 3 teams we are. It is going to be the players from 1 round, 1 more, as well as the squad then rolling through from the side there of Lag. So it's going to be a 3v3v3, so the final 9 players left to kind of duke it out right here on the map.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. It's good to see Lag making them, getting themselves into the top 3 once again. Also, I mean, 1 round, they have been really doing good this time around. And one more, I would say, has been the most dominant between the 3 teams over here. So statistically, we would expect them to get the winner chicken dinner. Can go either way, though. That is 1 round that has the higher ground. They should be able to capitalize on this, just chucking all the throwables down towards the enemies down below. Let's see, as they are trying to spot them out. It can go either way. TK, who do you think will take this one?
Oh, it's going to be a difficult call to make, but it is going to be Knight now to start us off with the next wave of action, just sending it down on towards Jamaica. Of course, Knight taking quite a bit of a backlash there. E-Flex now also getting knocked right on down, and this could be a bit of an opportunity maybe now for the players here from Lag to sneak their way into a better position. Of course, they are also still sitting on 3 players, so we still have all 9 players in the mix. But where will they go? Lag pushing in from the south. The players, of course, from 1 round and 1 million. So it's a little bit of that one-on-one action, right, in the north. But not quite sure who's going to be victorious, right? It's going to be either one of the ones to reign supreme, at least with the engagement between themselves.
Yeah, indeed. I thought Lag was going to be able to capitalize on that battle that was happening between 1 more and one round. However, they have been spotted. One of the players has been taken out, so it's not that easy. Coco also just trying to revive. He's going to have to play medic at the same time. He's got the smokes up. However, they have been found. Here comes the nade. This might just be the one to send them back to the lobby, at least knock them. Let's see if they... Coco manages to escape. He is low though. Teammate is still down. Shots coming in from a distance. Oh, so much action happening right now. DK take us into the last moments of the game. Here we go.
Yeah, it is going to be an 8-9Q just holding up. Knight reaching across towards Jamaica. Unfortunately, not finding the closure they were looking for. But now, still, the players here from Lag looking to see if they can play this last bit of a position. They don't have any positions moving in towards the zone. It is instead in favor of the players coming through there from 1 round as well as 1 more. But all they got to do is just look for those openings. Look to see if they can reach in and maybe just grab something by the horns or whatever they can find their hands on, and just look to make a successful push coming in from that. Of course, the players from 1 more also just going to be sneaking their way, waiting patiently in the grass to see if they could find any vantage points to play from. Pixie very, very cautious. You can see a bit of a potential angle coming on towards Knight just up ahead there. But a lot of that discipline now being shown by by our final 3 teams here. Of course, Pixie puts a bit of a spray towards Knight. Nothing connecting. Fishing in the smoke, looking for any of those hit markers. But unfortunately, it's not going to be working out the way they would have hoped for just yet.
Yeah, not indeed. I expected a winner chicken dinner by this time, but like you said, all three teams just practicing their patience, making sure that they don't do anything unnecessary to lose any of their players. And just because of that, we do see still three-man squads over there, one more. One around as well, just holding it down. Unfortunately, Lag lost one of their players as they tried to come up with that sneaky behind one around. So they lost one of their players. However, they are still in contention, probably just hoping that the other two teams can maybe take each other on before they engage, because it looks like they're out of threes right now. As you can see, the
Hmm.
Cacao, the blue zone has just shifted almost past the last three, so they're going to have to stay low as everyone else is. But I do like what I'm seeing here about one around. They've got the high ground. They should capitalize on this as fast as possible before anything happens with the zone, anything drastic, that will have to actually push them towards the other players.
Yeah, of course. Now we can see the players now all starting to get a little bit more active with those pushes coming up. We've got the players here from 1 million, or one more rather. There's too many one-on-ones happening, but they're quickly looking to just bring in a little bit of a push, a little bit of a sneak, trying to get themselves situated in a good position here. Oh, it is going to be lag now to get a hit as we just see those shots coming through. Oh, who will be the ones to close it up as Cacao is now just trying to kind of hold onto the tree as long as they can. I mean,
Yeah.
Cacao doesn't want to leave this tree, and once they leave this
No.
tree, it is history, right?
He's just trying to evade any type of action at this point. I mean, it's pointless right now to stand up and go or get into any battle because they know he's over there. They can snuff him out, as you can see, one around just crawling, making their way towards him. Cacao just trying to be one up on them, but eventually the ground it's going to run out as they do make their way towards the ridge line. He sees them, spots them, and then eventually, just like we expected, gets taken out. And there we go. It's going to be the end of the game. It's going to be one round. I believe they got that chicken dinner. DK, was that one round?
No,
Oh,
no, no, no. It was one more. You got it wrong. But of course, one more finishing on a beautiful closure there, coming in with those
wow.
12 eliminations, picking up a very well deserved victory. And that could actually mean that they could be moving off of that second page, moving into the first page. Of course, the players there from one round already being well established on that first page. Now coming in with that second place finish and the 9 eliminations to come with along with that. Of course, the players there from Lag taking third place with 3 elims. We got the players from Art of Killing up in towards fourth now with 2 eliminations. And of course, Slime 4KT finishing with, well, 5 eliminations in fifth place. So an absolutely
Okay.
crazy run. Loving these consistent plays coming through. Of course, RILA Insider picking up 5 elims. We got the players there for Greedy for Gills walking away with 7. So good run on their front. The players there from, well, G3 only picking up 1. We got the snipers coming in with 7. With Citizen X picking up 5, putting them on a very similar kind of footing as Chumika, who also found those 5, as we can see there. And of course, we got Darkness coming in with 1. We got the players from SKYROCKETS on 2. We got 1 million only picking up 1, but I mean, they're not worried, right? They're holding on to pole position.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
Virtual Gaming also picking up the 1. BBC nothing, unfortunately, with Blackjack. Also then with their 2 eliminations ahead of UMBRA, who finish up in that 16th position. But of course, we've got to take a quick look at our stars of the match. It is going to be none other than, well, one more rather, as well as 1 round, right? So Knight from 1 round being our match MVP, coming in with those 6 eliminations, the most for the team. I mean, putting the team on a collective of 9, with Chumika and Pixie picking up the best companion as well as the final hits to close up the match. And of course, all right, got to look at Chumika's performance as well, right? Chumika at least also then managing to find those 5 eliminations. So a very satisfying play coming in across the board. Again, a good showing of the aggression coming in from the teams. But, you know, that just makes it so challenging to figure out where exactly these teams are going to be ending up at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean it's so unpredictable, DK. I don't think anybody can say exactly what's going to happen on the leaderboard. Besides from that first place killers or the 1 mil players, wow, they just dominated. But at least in game
Mm,
number 4, I would say that's the game everybody else has been waiting for. They weren't
mm,
able to get themselves in that top at least 1 to 5 positions where they can get those good points. So that just allowed a little bit of extra space and a little bit of points for those other players and the other teams to catch up with him. So, I mean, nevertheless, I loved what I saw in game number 4, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to see that leaderboard.
Yeah, I also can't wait. And while we wait for those overall standings to come
Yeah.
out, let's take a quick look at where these teams were before
Mm.
moving into this very last match of the day. Of course, we can see starting on that second page, the players from One More sitting on 118 points, right? And this time around, as we saw, they finished on a beautiful 12 eliminations to their name. So if we add that up, it puts them on 130 points, plus then, of course, the points coming through from the finish, which is an additional 15 points. So really hopeful to see the players there from One More really taking leaps and bounds up the standings. And of course, speaking about the standings, right, we got to take a look at that first page to see kind of what they are looking to push up in towards. So we're expecting a score of around about 145, give or take. So based on what the scores were coming into the match, it could mean that we could be seeing them actually pulling up much higher up, right? Like third, fourth, somewhere around that kind of region, right? We'll have the 100% confirmation once we, of course, get the updated scores. But that's just kind of the speculation that we can draw at this point.
Yeah, we can only speculate and actually just run through all of the teams, which I'd like to do. One of the players, or one of the teams rather, that I'd like to say that it just hasn't been the night, and I've been rooting for them because of the gameplay, just seeing what they brought towards the finals here is virtual gaming. You know what, virtual gaming? I'll be hoping tomorrow you can bring it back and get yourselves back to the top 3. I've seen your capabilities. However, just for some reason tonight, they were just not on point over here. And another team also, I'd like to mention who else? Big Black Crocodiles. Tomorrow night, it's going to be their last night as well to get themselves back on top there with the leaders as well. Big shout out to One More for getting the chicken dinner here in the end, and that is definitely going to make a big difference. I mean, we saw where they were on the leaderboard now early on, and I think they can get themselves this time onto that first page.
Yeah, I mean, so that could be quite a bit of a push to come through for One More. We know, as we've said already, right? That was their first winner chicken dinner, and a very well-deserved one in that. So it's going to be exciting to see what those results then, of course, will look like. But as we saw, right, we were hopeful for UMBRA, hoping to see them potentially clutch a chicken as well. But, you know, things didn't really work out for them. As we know, they got sent back a little bit prematurely there. So it's a bit sad, but, you know, that's the way it goes. That's just how these battle royales kind of happen. So, you know, yeah, we're just going to be waiting to see what those results will bring. But I'm expecting a little bit of a change up, especially to happen on this first page. And as we know, second page, we do already know of at least one team that has put in a really strong effort. And, you know, we will be seeing them stepping up onto that first page.
Yeah, we definitely will see a couple of players getting nominated. Nominated, almost like it's the Grammys or something. But yeah, we will see them move up over, I believe so, because I mean, what a phenomenal gameplay. You were saying when we were looking earlier on, before game number 4, we would like to see them, those guys that got the winner chicken dinners, but they're still down at the bottom. And they brought the action here in game number 4. So we're expecting to see them climb the ladder a little bit more, as well as, I mean, Skyrockets. Skyrockets. I've been rooting for them all the time, and they've been consistent in game number 2 and game number 3. Unfortunately, game number 4 didn't serve them that well, and that's exactly what the guys below them were waiting for. So they will capitalize on that display by them and maybe even overtake the Skyrockets there.
Well, we don't have to wait anymore. As we can see, of course, the scores have been updated. They just appeared magically on the screen there. So this is our second page with the players there from Virtual Gaming sitting on 128. BBC on 100, and of course, RILA Insider on 94 points. I mean, G3 Blackjack, and of course, the players there from Darkness, having a very bumpy ride along the way. But speaking about those rides, it has been an absolutely insane one for the players there from One More up into third place, moving all the way from that second page. An absolutely insane jump that they have experienced there, going from the top of the second page to third place. I mean, absolutely insane pushes coming there, but well done to them indeed. 1 million, one round, and one more, right? So it's 1-1-1, all up in first, second, and third place. I'm so glad we don't have a fourth team with a 1 in their name. Otherwise, it would have been a little bit much. But either way, well done. Some very well-deserved positions coming in there. But of course, SKYROKETS also being, wow. Actually, look at that, right? 82, 82, 63, 63. I mean, that's insane, right? SKYROKETS at least low, sitting with 2 winner chicken dinner. So in my opinion, SKYROKETS are actually in third place, right? But it's fine, right? That's just my opinion, right? But either way, great shows. Definitely exciting to see these teams stepping up to challenge. We can see their team lag, team UMBRA, 133 each as well. So very, very satisfying points coming through from everyone here. And of course, before we head back onto the cameras once again, I mean, like Slime also just holding strong, maintaining a position up onto that first page. And right, that is what we wanted to see come through from these teams here. So you got to commend them. Well done, well played. But of course, that means then that is the end of tonight, right? All 4 matches done and dusted. We've shown the amazing results coming through from these teams. Now that then leads us to only one more day of play, the last day of the Continental Finals, to see where the teams are going to be ending up, who will be those teams to walk away with the insane amounts of prize money sitting at the top of that leaderboard. So it's going to be a very difficult push indeed, moving into the last bit of a run they still have to make. As we know, right, looking at the points that we saw coming in on the leaderboard, it seems to be somewhat decided for 1 million, but they're only sitting 39 points ahead. So it's still something that could take quite a bit of a change tomorrow, right? So I'm expecting one round to really dial it in tomorrow, to be in contention for that pole position finish. And who knows, that might actually happen. So be sure to join us tomorrow for the insanity that will be unfolding on the battlefield as the teams step into those final 4 matches to confirm their slots on the overall standings right here on the Continental Finals for the International Africa Gaming Cup. So with that, guys, we are going to greet you. We're going to have to love and leave you. Hope you have a fantastic evening. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you did, hit the subscribe button down below. Leave us a like. If not, either way, we'll see you back again tomorrow. So until then, stay safe, stay frosty, and stay good.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, guys. Peace out.